brain benders, banter, mind bending entertainment. 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 Brain benders. Brain benders, 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 benders. Brain benders, benders, benders.
Greetings from South Carolina.
Hi, everyone.
Buddy.
Hello from Northern Florida.
Oh, today, buddy, with the camera.
Northern Cali.
Okay, so welcome, travelers of time. Tonight we're firing up the Brain Benders Banter time machine and heading both backward and forward through history. We'll ask the big questions. If you could change one thing from your past, what would it be? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? And if you could travel to any time, past or future, where would you go? Get ready for a journey through memories, dreams, and possibilities. Jump into the chat and let's travel time together. See.
Welcome.
So, did Ted pick this topic by any chance?
No,
You think
How
I
did
would?
you not pick? How did you not pick time travel, Ted?
this is me.
When I saw it, it surprised me too.
Yeah,
Oh, thanks, guys. I'll take that as a compliment.
it is. I just thought for sure time travel dude up there would have picked this subject.
I mean, I did
Yeah.
write a book about it, so
Yeah.
Well,
Paradox.
yeah.
since it has to do with time travel, tell us about your
See that.
book.
Shoot, where's my copy of it? I usually have it within arm's reach, but it's not right now. It must be put away.
Can you
Yeah, I
buy
have
it
a
on
book.
Amazon?
Yes, you can get it on Amazon. It's called Paradox by E. McGill. That's Magill. Yeah, and it's a sci-fi short, or it's not even short. It's a novel set mostly on Mars that deals with time travel in the future and interplanetary war and crazy stuff. I love
Well,
it.
make sure to drop your link in the chats so
Yes.
people can go purchase it.
I will absolutely do that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's in we have a published author on panel
Yeah.
Yes.
about time travel too. How
Yeah,
cool is that?
Of all things.
hmm
I know.
Copy. Yeah.
All right. First question. If you could change one moment in your past, what would it be? And how do you think it would change your life today? Oh, Zach. Zach. Oh no!
Oh,
Zach took the buttons.
This is what happened when we're not prepared.
Zach took the buttons.
you're not supposed to go first, Zach. You know the rule. You're the main event.
Yeah.
Don't look at me like
We
that.
love you, Zach.
There were times in school when I was hyper aware of how people saw me. Cerebral palsy wasn't just something I lived with, it was something everyone else noticed first. Before they heard me speak, before they got to know my interests, they saw the way I moved, or the way I held my body, or the equipment I needed. And that created an opening, not always a healthy one, to manipulate the dynamic in my favor. I didn't call it manipulation at the time. I thought of it as surviving, or just using what I had. But truthfully, I sometimes leaned into their guilt or discomfort to avoid hard things or to get special treatment. I saw how uneasy people became, and sometimes I didn't correct their assumptions because it gave me control in a world where I often had none. Some teachers were so determined to be kind and supportive that they'd let things slide, even when they shouldn't have. I remember one project I didn't finish on time, not because I couldn't, but because I didn't feel like doing it. I played up the struggle, emphasizing the challenges without being honest about my part in the procrastination. The deadline was extended. I got praised for effort instead of accountability. And I remember thinking, they don't expect much from me anyway. That thought stuck with me longer than it should have. It became a lens I looked through. People will expect less, and if I let them, life gets easier. There were times I exaggerated how tired I felt so I could get out of gym or certain activities. Sure, fatigue is a real part of cerebral palsy. But I didn't always feel it in those moments. I just didn't want to participate. And instead of being honest, I used the assumption that I must always be struggling physically. People would nod sympathetically, no one would question it, and I'd get to sit out. It was a win in the moment. But looking back, I know it wasn't a win at all. I cheated myself of building strength and discipline, both physically and mentally. Some friendships were built on uneven ground because I allowed pity to be the foundation. I'd notice someone being overly helpful, or someone new trying to figure out how to interact with me, and instead of helping them see me clearly, I leaned into what they thought they saw. I let them do things for me I didn't really need help with. I accepted sympathy when I didn't need it. It made me feel important, needed, like someone people had to keep an eye on. But those friendships never lasted. They weren't built on truth or mutual respect, they were built on imbalance. There were even moments I used my voice to twist situations when I felt cornered. If I got into an argument or if I was being disciplined, I'd bring up my CP in a way that redirected the focus. I made others feel like they were being unfair to someone already dealing with enough. And it worked. Teachers backed down. Students apologized when they weren't in the wrong. At the time, I saw it as standing my ground. Now, I realize I sometimes weaponized my condition, not out of cruelty, but out of fear and insecurity. I don't say any of this to beat myself up. These were coping mechanisms I developed in an environment that constantly reminded me I was different. The world didn't treat me equally, so I figured out how to make the inequality work for me. But as I got older, I started seeing the cracks in that approach. I realized how much I missed out on by not fully showing up as myself, by not letting people truly know what I was capable of. When people only see a version of you shaped by pity, they never get the chance to respect the real you. In school, success came with an asterisk. If I got a good grade or won something, people assumed I had help, or that the bar was lowered for me. Sometimes, they were right, not because I needed the help, but because I let people believe I did. I didn't fight hard enough to be held to the same standard. I didn't push back when they assumed I couldn't. And the saddest part is, I started believing some of that myself. I started thinking maybe I wasn't capable of more, just because I hadn't had to prove it. There were plenty of moments I did rise to the challenge, and I don't want to paint a picture that I was constantly manipulating or giving up. But I do see now how I selectively chose when to rise and when to coast, based on how much pity I could draw out of a situation. That strategy may have made school life easier at times, but it didn't make me stronger. It didn't help me grow. It taught me how to survive, not how to thrive. I missed the chance to show people what living with cerebral palsy really looked like, not just the challenges, but the resilience, creativity, and problem-solving that came with it. If I could go back, I'd do things differently. I'd be more honest. I'd hold myself accountable, even when it was hard. I'd speak up not just for support, but for expectations, because I can handle them, and I should have demanded to be seen as someone capable, not someone to be coddled. I wish I had told my classmates, don't treat me like I'm fragile. Treat me like I'm real. I wish I had told teachers, push me. Make me earn it. But back then, I was afraid that if I stripped away the layer of pity, there'd be nothing underneath. That people wouldn't like me or care about me if they didn't feel sorry for me. That fear drove a lot of my choices. But now I know, real connection doesn't come from pity. It comes from respect, honesty, and shared experience. I understand now that taking advantage of people's discomfort or guilt only delays real understanding. It puts walls between you and everyone else. And the longer you lean on that, the harder it becomes to break through those walls. Eventually, you find yourself alone, even if you're surrounded by people. I think, at times, I confused attention with connection. And I confused comfort with growth. The most powerful thing I've learned as I've gotten older is that people respect truth. Even if it's messy. Even if it means admitting, yeah, I could have done better. That truth builds something stronger than any shortcut ever could. It creates room for others to learn from you, not because they pity you, but because they admire your courage to be real. If I could go back in time, I'd tell that version of me to stop hiding behind pity and start building with purpose. I'd tell him to show people what strength really looks like, the kind that doesn't rely on sympathy, but on showing up every day, honestly, fully, with flaws and all. I'd tell him that his cerebral palsy isn't something to be used, it's something to be lived with integrity. Now, when I talk about those years, I don't try to sugarcoat it. I own the mistakes. I talk about the ways I grew, and the ways I didn't. Because someone out there might be walking that same line, trying to figure out if they should lean into pity or push for respect. And if I can be the voice that says, push for the respect, then those missteps weren't in vain. UP out.
No, that's
Absolutely,
brutally honest.
100% right there. The reason you do not go first.
Show's over.
Oh my goodness.
He's good.
Show's
Like,
over.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, like, that level of honesty and introspection is how you learn and how you grow. And it kind of leads into what I wanted to say, which is it feels like a cop-out.
You want to go next?
Yeah,
You
let
go
me
now?
go next. I'll just
Go ahead.
segue.
There you go.
I don't tend to believe that if we could go back, we should change anything. Like I think that the mistakes that we make are what build us into who we are. Like we only exist as we are because of the mistakes we've made. Like Zach, the fact that you're able to be that honest, not just with us, but with yourself, shows that willingness to learn and grow and to become a better human being over time. And if you hadn't made that mistake when you were young, and again, you were young, I don't know if you would have ever learned that lesson properly. You know, like it's kind of a catch-22. Like
The fact you could be so honest, like you said, yeah.
And for me, like I think back of the things. I do have regrets, don't get me wrong. I don't want to change anything from my past, but I do regret some of the things I did, like even if it's just simple stuff like not drinking so much soda, you know, things like that. But there's one thing that I did in my past that I wish I could change, because I feel like it did severe damage to somebody I was close to. I'm not sure how much detail I can get into, but basically I taught somebody how to properly do something that I should not have told them. And they used that information to try to end their own life. And they almost succeeded.
Oh, snipies.
And that has messed with me my entire life. Like, that is something I wish I could go back and change, because, I mean, I'm glad she didn't succeed, obviously. But I still, it keeps me up at night sometimes. Just randomly, I'll think of it, and I'll get those tendrils of guilt and anguish.
You didn't know at the time.
No, I was young and
you were
stupid.
giving her.
Yeah,
I was going to utilize in that manner. So
yeah, and
you can't beat yourself up over that stuff.
No, like that's the thing. I don't. Yes, I do feel guilt for it, but at the same time, I know I'm not really guilty. Like I know that I was just young and dumb and stupid, and I was like just an edgy 19-year-old being an idiot. And I'm I'm able to forgive myself on that level, but at the same time, when I think of it and I think of what she went through and how I made that easier for her, it's always bothered me. And yeah, that's something I wish I could change. As much as I talk about not wanting to change anything from my past, that's one thing I definitely would, because that's given me kind of a complex. So yeah, I don't want to go into any more detail than that because, you know, we're online, and yeah, so I'm just going to leave it at that. That got a lot heavier than I expected. Make me small.
You have buttons.
Make me riddle.
I forgot for a second. Okay, shut up.
Yeah, I'm like, you have buttons. They reminded me, you have buttons, Tug.
Well, that was deep.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go real quick, and I'm just going to throw something in there with a little bit of humor and levity to it, because all y'all are killing me. My biggest, the big regret for me would be that time that I ruined Dr. Pepper. I was always a pepper, like to drink a Dr. Pepper. But then I made that tragic mistake of mixing it with Golden Grain 190 one night. And Dr. Pepper don't make a good mixed drink.
Were you trying to kill yourself, Danny?
Well, I thought I was that night, but it made me really sick and it ruined Dr. Pepper for life.
Oh, wow.
I can never drink Dr. Pepper again without the taste making me sick.
Oh.
So that's mine. And if I could go back in time, I wouldn't have ruined Dr. Pepper. Everybody's supposed to laugh, but I guess it didn't have that effect.
No, because it's deep.
Yeah.
No, like I sometimes do mix whiskey with Diet Dr. Pepper, and I think it's delicious. So
I can't even taste Dr. Pepper no more without getting sick.
I do that, but I do it with tequila because
I think everybody has that. If you get drunk off tequila once.
When I was 18, they double dog dared me at a damn high school party to chug a bottle of Jose Cuervo.
Wow.
I'd never chugged Jose Cuervo before in my life, and it was a big bottle. And I just chugged the whole thing, set it down. I was fine for about 15 minutes. After that, I lost 3 days of my life, and I had alcohol poisoning.
Yeah.
And now if I go to a Mexican restaurant and they make margaritas or anything, I am like,
It's just the smell.
I can't do it. No, that was the worst thing I ever did.
That liquor never gave me a problem. It was my stupid choice of things to chase it with.
My grandma thought that I was sick, and my grandpa says she ain't sick, she's drunk.
Oh no.
My grandma, she's dying, 4'11", full-blooded Italian, bringing me chicken soup and stuff, and my grandpa says, leave her alone, she's got the bottle flu.
Self-induced.
I like that.
Yeah, my grandpa says, no pity here. Let us know when you're okay. Moose Man! What's up, Moose Man?
I will say I did regret chasing, actually, I tried to take a break. I was drinking around the world at Epcot. I'm not sure if I've told this story before or not. And we got to America, and we said America was like the free country. We don't have to drink anything in America because all they have is American beer anyway, and we don't want to drink that. So I drank Gatorade, thinking that would like flush out my system and I'd be okay. It would help me like drink more. But no. Gatorade and alcohol, bad. Don't do that.
Oh yeah, because it's got electrolytes and stuff in it.
Those electrolytes do something to make the alcohol like
with the
twice as
sugar
worse.
and the sugar.
Yeah.
Oh.
It messes you up.
You
something
overdose. Oh, and you're
fierce.
diabetic.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. It was bad. It was
It was
really bad.
I bet.
I don't remember the
Sugar
second
coma.
half of the drinking around the world that day. So.
Wow.
You could have went into sugar coma.
I could've.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could have really had a bad time.
So yeah,
He
in
did
terms
have
of
a bad
mixing
time,
things, that's the
obviously.
one thing I regret, mixing Gatorade and alcohol. Don't do that.
Ooh.
Zach, what are you laughing about? When I come home hungover. Nicole, I wonder if my mom ever knew.
I think I realized when I was about 22, 23, and I came home to see my parents, I realized then that every single time I'd come home messed up or, in various states of non-sobriety, they always knew. They always knew. Of course they did. They just pretended not to.
I was the kid that got the 4.0, 3.88, 4.0 grade point average. I was the oldest. I'm the only one that crossed stage to get a high school diploma out of the 4 siblings I have.
Wow.
They all ended up getting their GEDs, but they didn't cross stage in high school. I was the only one. So I literally got my high school diploma, but I could tell you when my school shooting happened, it changed me.
Well, yeah,
Wow.
that'll do it.
And after that, I started going out with my friends because I felt like I'm missing out on life. Like
Carpe diem.
I've been my whole entire high school, I've been focused on work and getting my schoolwork done and getting good grades. And I haven't been to the parties. I was really popular, like a lot of the popular kids, but I didn't go to parties. I didn't go hang out with them. I didn't do the fun stuff. And so after the high school shooting, it changed me. And like those last few months, I made up for all of the time that I didn't. My mom forced me to take my younger sister with me to a party one time. She was 2 years younger than me. And so she was a sophomore. I was a senior. Oh my God. I got so wasted. That was the night they gave me that bottle of tequila. I made my sister drive home and she didn't have a driver's license. And the car was parked crooked on the sidewalk in the morning. And my parents knew that we came home inebriated.
Wow.
My grandparents were like, she's got the flu. Nope.
I always got lucky on that one. Whenever I come home drunk, my parents were just too drunk to notice.
No.
I literally had my 16-year-old sister drive me home that didn't have a driver's license.
Oh
I was like, mom made me bring you. You get to drive me home.
God. I had something like that. I was kind of like going to a friend's party back in high school. I go and I'm walking into my house, the house I grew up in, and I'm walking, I'm holding on to like everything as I'm walking, holding on to a chair. I'm holding on to like a countertop and hanging this. And I was just holding everything. My dad's like, why is she holding everything? Mom's like, she's drunk. I'm like, oh my God,
right?
Mom. Yeah, well, to my mom, my dad was just like, what the hell is going into her? He's like, my mom's like, you can't stand up without holding on to something, can you? And I was like, she's like, take your hand away from that chair. And sure enough, I was like, she's like, put your hand back on the chair. Boys, I busted.
I was trying to tell my grandparents I was having an allergic reaction to my allergy medication.
Oh.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Well, at that time, I'll be honest with you guys. At that time, my doctor had given me a pill. It was called Naldicon, and it was for allergies. And I took it, and I remember falling asleep in class, and I couldn't wake myself up. I could hear everything going on around me. I could hear the teacher talking, the students. I could feel everybody moving around me, but I was asleep, but I was completely awake consciously.
Wow.
Muted. But I could hear the teacher talking. I could hear the students, the bell ring. I was like almost like in like what was almost like a coma.
Oh.
Like I could not wake myself up, but I was completely aware of everything that was going on around me.
That's sad.
And so the ambulance came. They took me to the hospital in high school. I think this was my sophomore year. They took me to the hospital. And once the allergy pills started wearing off, I woke up. And I told them all about everything that was said, what the ambulance drivers were saying, what was saying in class, what was going on when they said that they were going to call my parents, when I was at the hospital, everything that was going on. I was completely not sleeping in my mind. My body shut down.
Oh.
It was the craziest thing ever. And so when I got that drunk, I told my grandparents, I'm having an allergic reaction to my television. Hi, Cursed.
I
By the way,
remember.
happy belated birthday to Cursed. It was
Oh, happy
yesterday.
birthday, Kurt! I had no
Yesterday.
idea.
Yesterday
Yeah.
was his birthday.
I'll have you know, I'm still tracking down that movie. I'm probably gonna have to find a physical copy. It's not streaming anywhere.
So yeah. I was the only kid that could sneak my siblings. They were all younger than me, right? They would come to me and wake me up in the middle of the night to sneak them out of the house because I'm the only one that could open the door without the dogs barking and waking up my parents.
I had to teach my older brothers how to open their bedroom window without setting off the Brinks alarm. Like,
yeah.
For the record, if you use a piece of aluminum foil and stick it right where the sensor is on the window,
it'll be fine.
The alarm won't go off.
Or you have another magnet.
Yes.
I just have another magnet.
That'll work too.
And I just dropped the other magnet on it and then moved the window.
See, I was the one who taught my older brothers how to get out of the house and sneak out in the middle of the night.
I was the only one. I have a sister that's 9 years younger than me. She never snuck out, right? But my brother and my middle brother and sister always were sneaking out in the middle of the night.
Mike, I have a video on it on my channel.
My brother was sneaking out to play video games with his best friend next door. So I knew he wasn't like doing it. But my sister, I'll tell you, my sister that was 2 years younger than me that drove me home that night, she literally got into a couple car accidents. They were out drinking and she got into a couple car accidents. How do you explain that? You come home and you've got a forehead that's like a goose egg from hitting the windshield. Like, how do you explain that? And I'm like, I'm not sneaking you out anymore. You're doing bad things and you're going to kill yourself. And it's not going to be on my head that I snuck you out. So then she would try to sneak out on her own and then wake up the whole house. Oh, and then my mom and dad started leaving the vacuum cleaner in random places. My mom would vacuum. And so in the middle of the night in the dark, all of us kids have broken toes. My mom would leave the vacuum just in random places because she would just leave it in random places, hoping that if somebody was up moving around at night in the dark, because we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have lights, you know. And so you would kind of make your way through the dark. But yeah, all of us have broken toes from my mom leaving the vacuum. All of the
vacuum cleaners were heavy back in the day.
Yeah.
I still have one that's really freaking heavy. It's like an 80s vacuum cleaner.
She had one of the canister vac things that was like a filter queen.
Yeah.
And she would pull it, you know. But yeah, so when you hit that, you knew you hit it.
Yeah, it kind of woke you up.
Yeah, in the middle of the night, you'd hear, one of the kids hit the vacuum.
Oh, God, that is hilarious, but not hilarious.
Sorry to get off topic.
No,
that's cute.
Okay, so who hasn't gone? Let's see. Tracy, Shane, and BBB, of course.
Okay, Shane, finish up the guys, and then the girls will finish up.
Please, okay, first off, phrasing.
I mean, makes sense.
I love you,
hello, and hello there from Arkansas. Yeah, if you don't like the way I say it, screw you. But if I had to go back and change back in time, I thought about this. It's I don't know if it's selfish or petty or maybe legit, but in 1999, while I was in auto body class, there was a rep that came in and talked to all of our like trade classes, automotive, auto body, and even the woodworking classes. And they were offering internships to Caterpillar, the ones that make the big construction equipment. And when this guy's Ben Magwood, I remember his name, but I was talking to him after the class. Like, me and one other person were interested. I was from auto body, he was from auto mechanics, and I talked to the guy, and He was just like, yeah, gave me his card and everything, let me sign up and everything, and he had to go take a test. And so, took the test, passed the test that they wanted. And I was like, all right, you're in. And I was like, cool. It wasn't an internship, apprenticeship. Let me get that right. So, get there from the first day of work, which was on a Friday. They just brought you in on a Friday to get you accumulated everything, let you get hands on, da 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 da. And I was just like, well, what would I be doing? I'm coming from an auto body background. He's like, what? We don't do much auto body stuff. As far as repairing damage on the vehicles, we're looking more for, or what you're probably getting into, if you like to, you can go to the body shop. But where the money is diesel mechanics. The engineering and the hoses and everything. I was like, all right, let's get into that. So got me started with those guys. That weekend, I was buying a car for my older brother, making payments on it. And he needed to borrow the car to go to South Carolina to go pick up some stuff because he just broke up with his girlfriend and can't keep a relationship, whatever. And I knew better. It was like, well, I had this car. I was running with some Asian guys, Mitsubishi Eclipse, a 91, I think. So did some mods on it, souped it up. His old car, he didn't recognize it anymore. He was like, hey, what'd you do to the car, man? I was like, I made it better. And he was like, well, you borrowed the car, da, 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 da. I'm like, well, technically it is still yours. I don't fully own it, I guess. Fine. He took the car to South Carolina and cracked the head on it, trying to race somebody. He was honest with me. He's like, man, I just had to see what it do. It's still technically my car. I'm like, yeah, okay. I gotta go to work Monday. Because the way it was gonna work was during my during that year. This was the beginning of my senior year. I was gonna do half a day at school, leave at 11:30, and go out to Caterpillar, and that'd be the rest of my day. And I couldn't get to work, and so I lost that apprenticeship. So if I could go back and change something, it would be that I wouldn't let them borrow the car. I would have put my foot down and said no, just no, because I lost out on a great career opportunity. Being an on-site, I was going to go on-site response to when equipment broke down. I go out there, figure it out, troubleshoot it. They don't give me a truck, everything. It was like, hey, you kind of pretty much make your own hours. Once you get enough years in, you can take jobs and deny jobs after so much time. But a lot of guys don't do that because they loved the money and they just loved what they did. That, and a side one, I would go back to my prom night, because I went to prom with an ex-girlfriend. That's a whole long story, but she was a tough cookie, a crack little Vietnamese girl, and I spent so much time trying to capture her. And she was way smarter than me, musically inclined. Her parents were stiff, tight. And I slowly started to get through to her dad, and he finally started to accept that, okay, my daughter's dating a black guy. And that prom night, I was dating some other girl I didn't really have strong feelings for, but she couldn't go to the prom. So I asked her. I asked my ex. And I should have broke up with that girl I was with and tried to get back with her. And we'd probably still be together today. So I'd be with her and working at Caterpillar. Depressing. But yeah, that's all I got. I go back and fix those two things. But yeah.
Wow.
And Google stock. I go back and invest in Google stock.
Well, of course, yes. Of course. That was insightful into your life story.
Tracy, are you ready to go?
Yes.
Yes. All right. It looked like you were really focused and concentrating, so I thought maybe.
Yeah, I'm trying to think
maybe.
of,
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I think if I went back in time, I would be in high school, or it would be in high school, and not being such a smart ass, because teachers basically asked us to fill out an index card with our parents' names and our addresses and such, at the beginning of the year. And being a smart ass that I was, and I was a smart ass, and I pretty much terrorized this teacher. He kind of looked like Henry Winkler, you know, and
Uh,
his name was Mr. Tokowitz, and I hardly, did the assignments. I didn't want to do them and what have you, and he was trying to teach me something, and I was being pigheaded, and he asked me for my address, and I said it was 1060 West Addison. He thought about it for a while. He was like, "Miss Roth?" I'm like, "Yeah." He says, that's the address for the home of the Chicago Cubs baseball team. I
Yep,
said, "Yeah,
Wrigley Field.
yeah, exactly." And I
It's in
told him
the
that.
Blues.
So I
Did you
told him
take that from the Blues Brothers?
that's what I did. He's like, "Are you trying to be a smart, smarty pants and stuff?" I'm like, "Oh, come on, you know me by now. You've had me for 3 years in a row, unfortunately." And it's like I could have been a better student. I could have applied myself better, and I didn't. And I ended up at the end of the year, in order to graduate, I had to do like 26 assignments for them that I didn't do throughout the year. My mom made me sit in front of like our typewriter back in the day, and on that table, and do my homework. Boy, she was pissed at me. So I really had to shape up. And like I said, if I knew now, being an adult now and being a kid back then, I think I would have been all right, but bullshitting the teacher is not too nice. It got me in real trouble. That's it.
all right.
I know it's boring.
No, it's not boring. Um, this question had me really thinking when I was writing the questions. So I've had a lot more time than you guys to actually sit on these questions. Um, this question to me is, I looked at it very differently. Um, if you could change one moment in your past, what would it be, and how do you think it would change your life today? I think from the time I was born, I think my grandparents should have had me instead of going through what I went through prior to them being given me. Um, and that would have probably made me a whole different person. However, I'm very proud of who I am today. I feel like I'm a very genuine person. I'm real. But I just feel like I could have went without all of that horrible things, if that makes sense. Um, and Also, I think Sierra's father and I were in the military, and he came back when she was 11 months old and told me he had met somebody else on the ship while I was pregnant and had her. And he moved on in life, and he's still married to her. And I wanted to have a family. I wanted to be married. I wanted to have kids. I wanted to have a house. I wanted all those dreams. And then I ended up being a single mom, working 3 jobs, going to school, and supporting those girls by myself. I think maybe I could have fought harder for that. But again, military spouses, that's pretty common in the military. Um, but yeah, I just always felt like, what was wrong with me that I wasn't able to like be married and have a house and have the things that everybody else was having? Like, why was I struggling so hard to raise my girls? Why was I struggling? So was I being punished? And So I wish I could go back to that time. I wouldn't change having my daughter whatsoever. I think I would have just fought harder for the marriage instead of just giving up when he said, I met somebody. I don't know. But regardless, I've had a decent life and I love what I do. I love, one of the things I look forward to the most every week is my YouTube channel and coming here on Saturdays with you guys. And you guys are like family to me. So it's very, very special to me. But yeah.
Special to me too.
Thanks.
And the rest of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad because, it's hard for me to open up, like, believe it or not, because I work in a trucking company and stuff. People don't really know me. And the people that are my friends, I've had since I was in high school. I've had since I was in junior high. I've had from the military. They know me. They really, truly know me. So I feel like when I get on YouTube, I'm just exposed to all these people that don't really know me, who don't know me. And they just assume things like, for example, I've been getting a lot of ridicule over the Buff and Jake thing that happened the day before our birthday. I had no idea Jake and Buff were having a tiff until that broke out. I had no clue. But I figured it out real quick, But what do you do when you're live streaming and something happens and you're like, okay, do I make a mockery of the live stream and just try to figure it out right then in front of the whole world? Or you just move past it and then try to address it after and be professional because this is a channel, right? So I tried to do what was the best that I thought was the best to try to figure it out and fix it. But I'm always ridiculed. And I don't know if it's because people just have hate for me or if I don't know. I know that I don't hate anyone, and I'm very grateful to people that have helped me from the very beginning.
You gotta deal with the fact. And here's the bottom line: just gotta deal with the fact. On YouTube, there's a bunch of darn idiots on here, a bunch of old crazy people right there, boy.
And I, from the very beginning, feel like a lot of people took me under their wing to help me. But once my channel started growing and getting bigger, I almost felt like they had animosity towards me. And so I don't care anymore. I'm here. I'm having a good time. The YouTube ocean is a big enough, vast enough place for all of us. I have found my school of fish, which is all of you. I have found the people I'm comfortable with and that I care about and I trust. And so that's why I'm here every Saturday with you guys, because this is the people that I have come to know. This is the people in my chat, the people in Zach's chat, the people in Tracy's chat. These are the people that come to support us as community. And I love the fact that I get this day to spend a couple hours with other YouTube creators that are going through the same things, experiencing the same things. But I think that you guys are so intelligent. Like every single one of you on this panel, I think are so intelligent and so valued to me. And it's just a blessing that I have come to know all of you. Seriously. So anyways, how do I get off topic? Okay. Number 2. Are you guys ready for number 2?
She said number 2.
Number 2. Take a shit, Danny. There you go.
I didn't say that. Oh.
Nobody buzzed me. Nobody buzzed me. Oh, Zach's ready to go. Look at that. Zach says, I'm first. I'm taking the buttons. Look, my hands are in the air. Zach has the buttons.
Oh, wow.
Zach,
you're fancy. You're fancy, right? Dude.
Here, I'll put myself up here and turn off my camera so Tracy can be seen. There you go.
Oh, no, I'm going to be unseen too.
5 years from now, I see myself standing at the center of something much bigger than just a YouTube channel. I see a thriving, self-sustaining community that grew from the seeds of unique prepping, a space where people didn't just come to learn how to prep, but came to remember who they are, what they stand for, and how much stronger we all become when we lean into each other instead of away. I see a place where unique abilities aren't just acknowledged, they're valued, uplifted, and used as part of the larger survival plan. We're not just stockpiling goods, we're stockpiling wisdom, laughter, trust, and grit. I see regular meetups and online workshops where folks from all over the country, maybe even the world, gather to share techniques, trade stories, and remind one another that no matter how hard things get out there, we've got a family right here. I imagine Zoom calls, in-person gatherings, and real letters exchanged between people who may never have crossed paths otherwise but now see each other as kin. I see the comments section lit up with encouragement instead of hate, solutions instead of division, where people look out for each other's hearts just as much as they look out for their food stores. Unique prepping will be more than a name. It'll be a movement. A hub. A digital town square for people who are tired of being told they don't belong, whether because they're uniquely abled, poor, old, too young, single, struggling, or anything in between. I want the brand to expand into books, survival gear made with accessibility in mind, maybe even mobile community gardens or prepper vans retrofitted for people with unique abilities. Everything will reflect the values that shaped it from the beginning: truth, unity, God, and self-reliance wrapped in love, not fear. A podcast, not just hosted by me, but co-hosted with members of the community, including people with different perspectives and walks of life. They'll talk about prepping, yes, but also about what it means to keep the faith, to be a better neighbor, to raise kids right, to start over at 40, to grow something when all you've known is loss. People will hear their own stories in our voices, and that connection will be what keeps the momentum going even in uncertain times. I see merchandise that actually matters. Shirts that carry messages about moral values, community, and resilience, things you'd be proud to wear to the grocery store or a rally. Not just designs that look good, but ones that speak truth. Mugs with Bible verses in KJV that give people strength during morning devotions. Hoodies with hidden compartments, maybe even walking canes that double as survival tools. Gear that's been overlooked by mainstream prepper markets because it caters to those society doesn't always include. I see my own voice becoming clearer, stronger, and more fearless. I won't be afraid to call out what needs to be said. I'll be firm in truth but humble in delivery. I'll speak up for the voiceless, not out of pity, but out of purpose. I'll still be laughing, cracking jokes, maybe even roasting people in the chat with love, but also diving into deep, heavy conversations that matter. I'll remind people every day that you can be both real and righteous, both flawed and faithful. In 5 years, I hope I've reached at least one person in every state. Not just reached them through a video, but impacted them enough to make a change, in their mindset, in their family, in their storage closet, or in their soul. I want people to be able to say, I prep differently now because of unique prepping. Not just stock up differently, but think differently, about themselves, about their neighbors, and about the world. I see a physical space, maybe a retreat center or land where the community can gather in person. A safe space to learn skills, decompress, reconnect with nature, and find the strength to keep going. A place that runs off solar, teaches farming, and welcomes every kind of person who wants to live better, love harder, and work smarter. It won't be fancy. It won't be big at first. But it'll be real, and that's enough. I want to create jobs through unique prepping. I want to hire folks from the community, people with unique abilities, people rebuilding their lives, people who've been overlooked by the system. To show the world that productivity doesn't come in one form. It comes in heart, in drive, in loyalty. I want to put money back into the hands of those who believe in rebuilding from the ground up, not waiting on help that never comes. I still want to make content, but not just about prepping gear or bug-out bags. I want to make documentaries, long-form stories about forgotten towns, local heroes, and real-life survival stories from people who don't usually get the mic. I want to give light to those still living in the shadows, the veterans, the elders, the young caregivers, the isolated, the indigenous. I want to help others tell their stories through the lens of dignity and preparedness. I see partnerships, not just sponsorships. Agreements with people and businesses that share the mission, to uplift, to prepare, and to restore what society has let crumble. I'll be picky, intentional, and never sell out. If your mission doesn't align with truth, with community, or with God, we won't walk together. Period. I'd rather have 3 real partners than 30 fake ones. My personal life will still be rooted in faith and family. I'll have stronger relationships, not just because I found better people, but because I became a better version of myself. I'll be healthier in the ways that matter most, mentally grounded, spiritually filled, and emotionally steady. I'll still need help with some things, and I'll still talk openly about that, but I'll also show how that doesn't disqualify me from leading, teaching, or thriving. I hope to still have people from the early days with me, subscribers who became friends, names in the chat who became family, people who sent letters or gear or encouragement when the channel was just an idea. I won't forget where this started. I won't pretend I got here alone. If you helped build it, you'll always have a seat at the table. I'll make sure of it. Above all else, I want to still be walking in obedience to God. Everything else fades. Channels die. Trends shift. But if I've honored the path He laid for me, if I used my unique abilities not as excuses, but as a testimony, then I'll know I did what I was born to do. I'll know I stayed faithful to the mission. And that's the legacy I want to leave, no matter how big unique prepping becomes. UP out.
Well said, as always. Yeah.
Well done.
Zach, you're so
Well
deep.
played.
Mhm.
You're such an inspiration, man.
Yeah.
You are. Tug, I love what you said in chat.
Well, I feel like that's Zach's message.
It's accurate. It is.
Here, let me
Zach,
pull it
will
up.
you put that up, please?
I got it,
There
I
you
got
go.
it.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh yeah, Tug has buttons too.
Yes. I forget I do, but I do.
Yeah. Because Zach and I are usually. But
I
yeah, you have
apologize if
buttons.
anybody's hearing the thunder. I'm getting a really, really bad storm here.
I
this
hear
week.
it. We had some here
Wow,
just
Danny.
now.
Now, yeah.
I love it, Danny. It's fine. Very deep, Zach. How does anybody
Cursed.
follow up with that?
Where did you send me a message? I do not have it.
I'll follow up with it.
You'll follow up with him? All right. Thanks,
Thanks.
Buff. Thanks, Buff. We
Because it's
appreciate
nice,
you, Buff.
simple. It's nice, simple, short, and sweet. Where do I see myself in 5 years? In this truck. Done.
Nice, simple answer. Oops, sorry. I didn't mean to hide that.
What if you're in your studio?
Nah, I'll be in this truck.
Tug, are you ready?
Yeah, sure. I guess I could be ready. What question are we doing? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah.
Well, see, we have to deal with the empty nest syndrome when that happens. My son will be off to college.
Oh God, that sucks so bad. I laid
that
on my
is
daughter's
so-
empty room floor and cried.
That is so
Aw.
terrifying.
What the heck's wrong with y'all? When my kids left for college, I had a party.
When my
I was
daughter
there.
moved out-
I had a party and turned the kids' room into a gym.
When my daughter moved out, I laid on her empty bedroom floor and cried the whole night. Just went in there with a pillow and blanket and slept on her floor.
Aw.
Like, where do I see myself? Like, pretty much in the same place. But I will probably, my life is so much defined right now by being the stay-at-home dad and doing the dad thing. And like, I feel like when that dynamic is going to shift, I'm not entirely sure how I'll react. Part of me wants to think I'll have more free time, so I'll be able to write more. I'll be able to develop myself more professionally. And maybe I'll do more on my YouTube channel. Maybe I will be able to get myself out there more. But at the same time, like, that's not a trade-off I want. But no, Yeah, I pretty much see myself in the same place. And if I am, then I will be grateful because, life can throw you all kinds of curveballs and I don't want it to. I'm happy where I am. Yeah, that's pretty much that's the only thing I got. I want to have another book published by then for sure. I mean, I'm writing like 2 or 3 at the moment, but like it's a slow process. It takes a long time.
Communin.
What does K Moonin say?
Where do I see myself in 5 years in front of a mirror? Of course.
Wah, wah. The correct answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Money.
I just had to laugh at that.
Yeah, that's all I got. That's my answer. Hopefully in the same place.
Danny, are you ready?
My answer is even shorter than his. I can't see myself in 5 years because I can't see myself tomorrow because I don't plan that far into the future. I'm serious. I prep, like Prepper Boy up here. I'm prepared for nuclear holocaust with a to-go bag and everything, but that's not really in the plan. I don't really have no plan. The father stocking plan is tomorrow morning. I plan on getting up, eating breakfast, and sometime tomorrow I'm supposed to be on a show. Other than that, no clue about nothing else going on in the whole world. And as far as the day after that, that's just too far ahead to even think about. That's just the way I look at things. I live life one day at a time, and then I deal with tomorrow when it gets here.
I mean, there is some zen to that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I planned out any further than that because I got Tourette's and have strokes, I'd probably forget it anyway.
Yeah, maybe you do it every single day and you just don't remember.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes I feel like I'm in that movie where Bill Murray wakes up and it's the same freaking day every day because so many of my days are
Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Groundhog Day.
Mm-hmm.
We can
like so many of my days are so similar where I get up and do YouTube and do the same thing every day. It becomes like Groundhog's Day to me sometimes.
Just over and over and over doing the same thing. I feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sorry, this week was a very rough week, especially when they sent me that picture of the guy's severed finger.
Anytime you get a picture of a severed finger, it's got to be a bad day, right?
I was all.
Once
You didn't have it texted to you.
Once again,
I had to share with my twinsy.
That depends on whose finger it is.
I mean, it could be worse. I mean, you could have had it mailed to you,
Oh no, let me tell you. Just a few months ago, one of the guys got up into one of those lifts on the forklift that picks you way up, way high, like the third, fourth racks, right? And they had picked him up in our Milpitas, our corporate, huge warehouse. Picked him up. He wasn't wearing a harness. He fell. And shattered his pelvis.
Well, that would be his fault.
Aye.
He's supposed to.
Bad
If you
words.
go more than, from what I understand of OSHA regulations, if you go up on a step ladder more than at least, I think it's at least like 3 feet.
It's 3.5 feet, 3.5 feet. Yeah.
Yeah. That's his fault. That's his fault.
I mean, you're right.
But the severed finger isn't. That terminal manager literally told him, stabilize this pallet with this 2x4 while I put it in the rack.
Oh, God.
No.
Yay!
Hey, he made it.
He made it!
What's up, people?
All day.
Oh,
boy.
What did I miss? I've been working. What did I miss?
Zach has answered one question. That's all we've done so far. No.
Oh.
Yeah, no, Zach has answered 2 questions, and then the rest of us are just like, show's over.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. All right, Coley, don't want to put you on the spot, but however, what you need to catch up on is question 1. If you could change one moment in your past, what would it be, and how do you think it would change your life today? We're time travelers.
I would not get hit by a car.
Okay, so let's put
that's
Coley
what
up
I would
to catch
do.
up.
I would that's pretty much it. I don't have a long explanation for that. I would just not get hit by that car.
I make that a goal every day.
You would have stepped out of the way,
or
you just would have been somewhere else. Yeah, just don't get hit.
Yeah, I would have gone to Indiana instead of staying in Nashville that night. That's what I would have done.
Okay. Question number 2. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, personally and professionally?
Personally and professionally, probably still doing the same thing because I like this low stress job. Personally, I have no idea. I don't know what I'm going to be doing in 30 minutes. I don't know.
That was basically Dan's answer. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea what I'm going to be doing. Like,
Buff, I'll be in this truck. Just to catch you up, I'll be in this truck. Zach gave us all tier moments, of course.
Of course.
And because Zach has buttons, and we told him he couldn't go first, he's taking charge. And he's putting himself there and making himself big and going.
He's gonna be a monster when he gets that mixer.
Oh God, he literally took over the channel. We were like, Zach, you can't go first. He's like, nope, I'm going first. He made himself big. He just started going. I was like, oh, Zach's got buttons. Like, oh God, it's funny. All right, so now Coldy's caught up. Tracy, are you ready for that second question?
Yeah.
Okay, guys are all caught up. Here comes the girls. Go ahead.
Okay. Are you okay?
I have to go help my mom. Guys, Carrie.
We got
Carrie
you.
for a minute. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, professionally, I'm an artist by trade. I went to art college, spent money there, to get educated. So I'd like to use my talent in art somehow, as far as professionally is concerned. As far as personally, I want to go to Australia to meet my friends, in person, and just hang out and have a good time, because that's one thing I'd like to do on my bucket list, because I've made so many friends who live there. It's funny, but yeah, that's what I want to do. Hopefully I could open my eyes tomorrow, make it another day like Dan said.
Always a good answer. Yeah.
You have to dovetail off of him, because that's the truth. You open your eyes, there's a new day.
Yeah, it's like I said, is if I'm still where I am today in 5 years, I'm happy, because that means I've lived for 5 years, and no horrible tragedy has occurred, which life tends to do to you all the time. So yeah. Okay. I guess that means I got to take charge. Next question. We've all answered the questions, right? Okay. So all I have to do is tell Zach to go ahead. But the third question is, what is one thing you are doing today to ensure a better future for yourself?
And this ought to cover it to Christy.
Yeah, exactly.
Today, I am putting one foot in front of the other and continuing to show up, not just for myself, but for the community I've been blessed to build through unique prepping. I'm choosing to keep speaking, keep teaching, and keep listening. I'm pushing through moments of exhaustion and discouragement, not because it's easy, but because I know someone out there needs a voice that refuses to quit. I know that everything I do today has the power to plant a seed in someone else's tomorrow, and I take that seriously. I'm making sure that every piece of content I create serves a real purpose. I'm not chasing clout or numbers. I'm focused on crafting messages that build people up, that open eyes, and that encourage preparation, not out of fear, but out of faith. When I hit record, when I design a thumbnail, when I write a post or respond to a comment, I'm putting my energy into connection. I want every interaction to remind someone that they matter, and that together, we can withstand anything. I'm choosing to lead with integrity. I'm not cutting corners. I'm not lying for views or hiding behind filters. I'm being real, because that's what I would have needed to see years ago, someone like me, showing up anyway, pushing forward despite limitations, showing what's possible when you focus more on your purpose than your pain. That's how I help build a better future, by staying authentic in a world addicted to the fake. I'm investing time in others, checking in with people who have become family through this journey. Whether it's replying to a message from someone who's struggling or shouting out someone who's doing good work, I'm keeping the foundation of this community strong. We're not just viewers and creators, we're builders, and builders need to look out for one another. I'm making sure people know they're seen. I'm reflecting on what I've been through, not to dwell in the past, but to stay grounded. Cerebral palsy didn't break me, it sharpened me. Every challenge I face reminds me of the importance of prepping not just physically, but mentally and spiritually. I share those lessons so others can realize their unique abilities are not weaknesses, they're tools. When I speak that truth, I'm helping future generations see themselves differently. Praying. Every morning, every night, and sometimes right in the middle of the chaos. I'm keeping God at the center because I know without Him, all of this falls apart. Faith is the cornerstone of everything I'm building, the voice behind the camera, the strength in the message, the direction of this mission. If I ever lose sight of that, I lose everything. So today, I'm realigning myself with Him again and again. I'm researching new ways to make prepping more accessible. I'm looking at tools, apps, and gear that could serve people with limited mobility, low income, or no support system. I'm taking notes, reaching out, imagining how to design things that nobody else is thinking about. That vision may not be fully realized yet, but every idea I put to paper today gets me one step closer to that future. I'm documenting truth. Whether it's talking about broken systems, missing people, the moral decay of society, or the solutions no one wants to fund, I'm saying it out loud. I know that being silent only helps the people who profit off chaos. So I'm not being silent. I'm saying what needs to be said, even when it makes people uncomfortable. That's part of the mission, being bold when truth matters most. I'm showing up with joy. I laugh. I roast. I drop a sarcastic line now and then. Because the world is already heavy enough, and I don't want people to come to my content just to feel worse. I want them to feel stronger, braver, and yes, sometimes just to smile. That kind of emotional preparedness is just as important as food or water. Joy keeps us going when everything else wears thin. I'm helping others find their lane. Not everyone's a homesteader or a tactical expert. Some people write. Some sing. Some care for others quietly. I'm trying to build a community where every strength has a place and every weakness has support. Today, I'm reminding people that their gifts matter and that there's no one right way to prepare, there's only your way, done with heart and persistence. I'm staying humble. This isn't about ego or fame. It's about impact. Every view, every subscriber, every comment is a soul, not a stat. I'm treating this work with the weight it deserves because I never want to lose touch with the people who helped build this. I remind myself that I am nothing without the grace of God and the support of this community. That mindset keeps me grounded. I'm dreaming while doing. I'm thinking of documentaries, collaborations, physical meetups, retreats, and possibly land where people can learn to prep and heal. I'm not just fantasizing about it, I'm laying the groundwork through action. Whether it's learning the logistics or talking to potential partners, I'm setting stones for the road ahead. Every task today pushes me 1 inch closer to that future. I'm being transparent about the hard days. I share the fatigue, the fears, the spiritual battles. Because I want people to see the full picture, not just the highlight reel. That kind of vulnerability builds trust, and trust builds communities that can weather any storm. By being open about my process, I give others permission to do the same. And that openness becomes the foundation of real, lasting unity. I'm refusing to let division win. I see the world splitting itself apart, politically, spiritually, racially, economically, and I'm not letting that seep into what we're building. Today, I'm choosing unity. I'm choosing to listen. I'm choosing to be the bridge, even when it's hard. Because we can't rebuild a future worth living in if we're too busy tearing each other down. So I'm focusing on healing, not hurting. I'm staying consistent. That's not flashy, but it's the backbone of everything. I'm showing up even when I don't feel like it. I'm finishing projects. I'm publishing content. I'm editing when I'm tired, reading when I'd rather rest, checking in when I could ghost. Because the future doesn't build itself. It's built by ordinary people doing extraordinary things over and over again. And today, I'm choosing to be one of those people. UP out.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
you're laying foundations. That's what's
Mhm.
important, right? Like,
Mhm.
it's like a question was geared right for you.
Like he's sowing seeds.
Yeah,
That's cool.
and that's what you
The
need
hell
to
was
be.
Yeah,
the
I
hell
did
was the
that.
question?
What was the question? The question was, what is one thing you are doing today to ensure a better future for yourself?
That's not in the back chat.
Yeah, it is. It's at the top. You just have to scroll up.
Up, 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 up. Oh. What am I looking at down here?
I don't know. What are you looking at?
Oh, that's the intro that you
Oh,
did.
you're
Never
reading the
mind.
intro.
I'm
That's
reading
what
the
you're
intro.
doing.
Okay.
Okay, well,
Sorry, my bad.
I'll go ahead and answer for me too.
Whoa.
But that's not right. It was the wrong thing. There we go. Well, for me, like, I recently got bad blood work, which, you know, when you're diabetic, you get your blood work every 6 months. And it kind of kicked me in the butt. So what I've been trying to do lately is go outside, walk, exercise. I'm thinking about starting up my garden again, which requires a lot of weeding first and rechanging all my soil and all that stuff. That's a lot of work, but like I feel like it would be worth it, not just to have that, but for me personally, just like stuff like that really helps you. I don't really know how to say this, but like it just helps you spiritually in a way, just to be close to the earth, like literally. In addition to the fact that whenever you're gardening, you're actually like getting an excess of oxygen and it gets you high. So gardening makes you high. That's a scientific fact, by the way.
That right there depends on what you're growing.
Daddy.
Good point. And also, if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll notice I've started putting out a bunch of shorts. I'm hoping that will improve the algorithm, my chances with the algorithm, and it's been a lot of fun. It's a bit more work for me, but it's not too terrible. It only takes me about half an hour to an hour to make one, and so doing that on my channel has been fun, and I've gotten so much positive feedback, way more than I expected. I expected a lot of people who were subscribers to just be like, why do I keep getting all these notifications for all these stupid shorts? But no, everybody seems to be loving them. So that's something I've been doing to try to help myself in the future. Like with my YouTube career. Because like I said, I got the empty nest looking at me. And if I don't start making more money with YouTube, then I'm going to have to go get a real job. And I don't want to do that. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
I think I'll knock this one out.
Hey, that's not there.
Yeah, right.
I don't know, like the essential stuff. Working hard, trying to make as much money as you can. Finally being an adult, because I spent too many years effing around. Time to get serious now that I have a career for the past however now, just truck driving. So this seems like where I'm at. So I'm getting accustomed to it. Maybe one day I'll have my own truck. Start doing it for myself. Thinking about getting in a heavy haul. Talked to a guy about a month ago about that, and I got his card if I ever was interested. But that's really saving the money. I got no kids. I got no responsibilities. I ain't got no girl. Stacking money. This YouTube whole venture. Maybe one day we can make money off of it. To get to the point of where I want to be is getting better editing software, and maybe I can make better videos and post more videos. I'm trying to slowly progress the channel and gain, and maybe one day get enough attention and get a little monetization. But it'd still be a side gig. I'll still be truck driving. Other than that, buying every lottery ticket I can spare and hope for the best. That's it. Out. Daniel.
Like me, what the hell?
I don't know.
What was the question?
What was the question? Let's go back. Let's see. What is one thing you are doing today to ensure a better future for yourself?
The one thing I'm doing now to ensure a better future. That's a hard one because I don't really plan that far in the future. I got about the best thing I can say like that is I stay in constant touch with the wheat man to make sure I can stay supplied with some good grain. That's the only thing I worry about in the future. Seriously, that's it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't plan for the future because at my age, probably it's a 50-50 chance I might not be here anyway.
Caldy.
What am I doing to plan? I know the same answer. It's
You and Dan are spirit animals.
yeah. The only thing that I am doing really to prepare for the future is instead of lottery tickets like Buff is doing, my extra money goes into the stock market and Bitcoin. So
it's basically the same thing.
Yeah. I'm basically gambling in a different way. And it's, if Bitcoin hits $1 million, I'll be all right. I'll be able to go to one of those nice nursing homes. If it doesn't and everything crashes, I'm going to be in the poor folks nursing home. If I make it that far. That's the other thing. Kind of like Danny. It's like, I'm almost cussed. I'm really surprised. I'm really surprised that I'm still here right now. Anyway, so it's.
I don't make plans like that. A big meteor could come tomorrow and just run them all for everybody.
Yeah. But that's pretty much it. It's just every kind of I don't buy a lot of stuff that I don't need, and that money goes into the future so that if something does happen, I can get my car fixed without having to worry.
Well, if I get to 100,000 subscribers, I think I'm obligated by YouTube law to start selling a shitcoin, so you can have that.
That's true.
Yeah, invest in that.
True.
I promise I won't rug pull.
By the way, let me let everyone know I will be releasing Caldy coin coming up. I'm not going to rug pull it. I swear to God. Put all your life savings into it. You're going to be fine. We're going to go to the moon. To the moon, folks.
Absolutely.
We're all going to be rich.
Hey! Hey,
of milk and honey. Just
There's no downside.
yeah, there's no downside. All the money's going to be going to charity. Let me just tell all the lies about the coin. I'm going to be feeding everyone in Africa that is starving, all of those things. So save your coins, invest in Caldi coin when it comes out. And yeah, we're going to save the world one day.
Amen, brother. Amen. Preach.
Preach it, Caldy. Preach.
Mhm.
Make a difference.
I'd invest in the after party.
I'm sure there is a coin called the after party.
Yeah, there's gotta be.
There-
There's
there is-
absolutely
there is
has to be.
probably-
There has to be a coin. It's called the Caldy
100%.
after party.
In fact, let
I
me-
don't know about a coin, but there's a pill called that, right?
You guys are funny.
Mhm.
there's a Cali coin. There's not a Caldi coin. I don't know.
Okay, well, let's see. Who hasn't gone yet? Tracy.
Okay. I would be sort of dovetailing Tug a bit because, I am learning how to eat better and take care of myself and lose the weight. And I went to the doctor's office just yesterday to see my endocrinologist, and he was happy with me because I'm in the 90%. Yeah, I'm in the 90% projectile. That means I'm pretty much stabilized with my A1C. And I think
Nice.
I'm like 5.5 now. I was 6,
Mhm.
so now I'm 5.5. So I just have to keep on going, drinking a lot of water, and like I said, exercising and learning to eat in smaller portions, and make sure that everything is, copacetic.
Dude, you're doing something right. If it's 5.5, that's lower than mine has ever been since I got diagnosed. So
Yeah, I mean, I was up to 14 at one time, so it's like I understand, but that's when I was heavier too. I've dropped a lot of weight already, so I'm only 40 pounds away from goal, so I'm kind of happy.
yeah, that's awesome. And I think a lot of people who aren't diabetic or don't know anybody who's diabetic don't really understand how front of mind that kind of stuff has to be for us. And like, it's
Yeah.
exhausting having to think about that all the time.
Yeah.
It's just part of being diabetic, unfortunately.
Yeah, it scares me because, the guy's finger, but I mean, seriously, they could cut our toes or our
Yeah, exactly.
feet
Losing our
or take
feet.
an arm or something, it depends on whatever is troubling you. And I know I've got neuropathy, but it's like, I've got that hopefully under control by lowering my A1C, and keeping good with my blood sugars. So that's pretty much where I'm at. I hope to see tomorrow. I don't know if it ever comes or not, but hopefully I'll be around to see it.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. Be prepared for it at least. And
Yeah.
yeah, I know that I don't have neuropathy yet because I have extremely ticklish feet, to a ridiculous degree. If you just blow on my feet, I'll feel it. So yeah, there's no neuropathy there yet.
You're lucky. Mine just burns the heck out of me.
I've heard it's painful. Yeah.
It's very painful.
Yeah. And I've had people in my family who have, had things cut off because of it. So
Hmm.
that terrifies me for sure.
Yeah, for me too.
Seeing my mom go through diabetes immediately made me shift over to drinking Diet Coke. Everything is as little sugar as I possibly could get.
Yeah, man, sugar is a scourge.
Yeah, I've been off the sugar for a while. I'm down to my AFC thing is down to 7, so I figure lucky.
Yeah, that's about where
Oh.
mine is right now, is 7. Yeah.
That was a
You
lot.
do know, Colby, you
was
do know
hard.
alcohol turns to sugar, right?
Oh, it does exactly. Same with bread.
Just saying.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I have this weird thing though with my diabetes. Apparently,
Why am I big?
But yeah, but I
'Cause you haven't gone yet.
don't chug beer all day long like I used to.
No.
Like I used to drink, like
Zach.
Tug was talking about, where he drank soda all day long. I did the same damn thing. Like Pepsi Cola was my
Right
thing.
here.
I was drinking
Now I
a
get
12
to
Woke
Zach.
woke
day
up
at least.
woke up drinking Pepsi right before I went to sleep. Smoked a cigarette. I'm gonna keep talking, Zach. I'm gonna keep talking. I'm gonna keep talking. I'm gonna keep talking until the sun comes up. No, I'm done. What you got, Zach?
Yeah. you.
Zach, I put myself over Zach so I could poke him because he made me big. I was like, you got buttons. All of a sudden, he made me big. I was like, what the hell will you make me big for? See? Now he's laughing. Where's that belly laugh, Zach? Give me that belly laugh. Come on now. Give me that belly laugh. Give me that belly laugh, Zach. It's the cutest thing ever when Zach belly laughs.
Aw. Look, he's blushing.
I know. The cutest thing ever. One of the things I really enjoy about my channel is that I have met all of you and that all of us
Yay.
kind of feed each other. Like when I say, hey guys, give me topics for upcoming shows, like you guys are very responsive. Tracy, in the private chat, I'm going to put my phone number so you have it.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yes,
No,
I
that's
will
fine.
put in my phone.
Because I think you're the only one I don't have on direct.
Yeah. I'm there too. So I'll
Yeah.
put, if you want my number, I could give it to you too.
Yep. Okay. It's in private chat, Tracy.
Yeah. Okay. That's why I said I'll give it to you in private.
Yeah. You could just text message that number and then I'll have it.
Oh, okay. Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Okay. So, one of the things I enjoy very, very much, Sundays, a lot of Sundays, not every Sunday, depending on what I'm doing, where I'm at. But on Sundays, Zach and I get backstage on StreamYard and we bring up Canva and we work on upcoming shows, thumbnails, intros, outros. I cannot tell you guys how wonderful it is to work with Zach and see his little mouse moving around and my mouse moving around.
Oh, cool.
And then it's funny because like we'll put a text box and we'll just text each other in the like actual like what we're creating to talk to each other, and then we change the text back. But we'll like it's cool because we can actually work on projects together. And it's really cool because Zach gives me an idea. And then I go, oh, okay. And so I start putting it together. And then Zach and I together as partners, like start literally moving stuff around the board, adding things, changing backgrounds. And it is the funnest thing I have done in a really long time is like getting backstage with Zach and just being open in my pajamas with my hair up in a bun. And I'm just like, come on, Zach, let's go. You know, it's like, but him and I create some really cool things. Like, I really wish I could have helped you more with your newest intro because that is so special, Zach. Have you guys seen Zach's newest intro with his baby pictures?
Oh, how cool. That's cute.
Zach, if you could put that, please play it if you can. We will wait because that is something I really wish I could have been a part of, but I cannot claim that I was part of that one. I have been part of all the other ones, but Zach is getting more bigger, bolder, badder, and he doesn't need me anymore. Zach's
No,
getting to a point.
he's assimilating your channel again.
When I was born, they had no hope for me, but I survived to build a legacy. I felt no love as I was raised. I felt broken, disheartened, and betrayed. But here I am, doing my own thing. I'll take a stand, I'll take a stand. I can do anything. You take one look at me and see a man with a disability. You don't know what I can be. You just take me for granted. So here I go, here I go. I'm gonna prove you wrong. Don't tell me no, don't tell me no. I'll show you I am strong. You think that I am disabled? I'm gonna show you I'm very capable. I was made fun of when I was in school. It broke my heart. I wasn't cool. I wanted to give up, wanted to take one look at me and see a man with a disability. You don't know what I can be. You just take me for granted. So here I go, here I go. I'm gonna prove you wrong. Don't tell me no, don't tell me no. I'll show you I am strong. You think that I am disabled? I'm gonna show you I'm very capable. I'm a survivor and that's a fact. It was a long road, but I'm not looking back. I am a winner and I choose to succeed. I'm stronger, my past made me be. I'm Zach and I'm just being me. I'm not disabled, I've got a unique ability.
That was awesome.
Every time I see it, it brings tears to my eyes.
You that song yourself, Zach?
Zach, you were a cute baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened, Zach?
Did
I
you write
asked
that
him
song?
about his
Oh,
shoulder. I asked him about his shoulder after shooting. And he said it hurt like a MFer.
That'll happen. Yeah.
I'm all accurate. I'm sure you were shooting some big guns there, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
That was so
Hey, wait.
cool of Mayhem. Shout
Yeah,
out
where
to
is
Mayhem.
Mayhem, by the way?
So
I
did you
don't
write
know.
that song, Zach?
Why am I big? Zach, why'd you make me big? I don't know what to do, Zach. I'm like, what are you doing to me?
No.
Tug, hold back those laughters.
Do, 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 do.
Mayhem wrote the song.
Mayhem.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, Battlefield Productions wrote that song. Mayhem is the one that was carrying him out the front porch, putting him in the truck, and he's also the one that was shooting with him that went to visit him on his birthday in April. Yeah. He
Mayhem
came and
is so
spent
cool.
3 days with you, took you to you ate some crazy foods. You're a beast. I don't know how you eat so much and you're so tiny. What did you
I'm
eat today?
envious.
Tell us what you ate today. Me too, Tracy. I look at a magazine with chocolate cake and I gain 10 pounds.
Same.
No, that's me.
I don't
honey.
even I don't even have to eat it. I just look at a magazine and go, oh, that looks yummy, and I can
No,
feel
I
the
might as well
weight.
put it on my. No, honey. Yeah, I put mine on my person. You know, it's like God.
Yeah.
The other people got good metabolism.
My tummy and my booty. Oh, don't tell
Well,
Braddy.
I was like, be careful.
Okay.
Brady's in the chat.
I know. Don't tell Braddy.
Aw.
Oh, look at her. She said hello and a bunch of hearts.
I know.
Hello.
I love
Talking
you,
about that
Braddy.
bud meat. Rah, 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 rah.
I love you, Braddy.
Uh,
Braddy, if I do die, you could eat me. That's fine.
Oh my gosh.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord.
okay, if Chrissy dies, we're putting in an investigation and making sure Brady is
Yep.
suspect number one,
Yeah.
right?
And I want you guys to know that I did have a very deep conversation with Zach while he's typing. And if anything should happen to me, and say for some reason I was in a car accident going to work, or something happens, I had a major heart attack or stroke, Zach is going to take over my channel.
That makes sense.
Oh.
I just felt like I have to make sure that this channel is going to continue to go on, because I've worked really hard on it. And Zach and I treat our channels, and I know Tug, Tracy, all of us, Caldy, Buff, Danny, it's a business. It really is. You have to treat it like it's something that you could grow and develop
You have
into
to
your
nourish it.
baby.
Make
Yeah,
sure.
you have to baby it and nourish it. Exactly.
Tell me
I
about
don't-
it. I've been so sluggish.
I don't know if I belong in that group.
No.
Me neither.
I don't think Danny does either.
Yeah, because mine is very much yeah. I'm gonna throw this up. If people like it, cool. If not, you know,
Caldy, some of the best times I've had is on your streams.
yeah, but I have to delete them.
I bet some of the best times I've had
Yeah,
is on your streams.
Yeah, but I
Like,
think that's because he doesn't treat it like a business. He treats
Yeah,
it like a fun place
it is
to hang
fun.
out. Which
It is
we
it's
fun.
just fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is this is me, Zach. I promise you, I'm going to shut up in just a second. This is me getting the demons out on Saturday.
Charles
night.
Darwin, what does that mean? Chris is trying to raid you, dude. What does that mean, Zach?
Chris is trying to do a raid on your channel.
You don't know what a
So
raid is?
do
It's a
you
good
do you
thing.
have you need to have it set where it can be rated?
I don't know how to do that on YouTube.
What it's happening.
UK Munich.
Oh, there's a process.
Yeah.
Thank you, K Munin. I will, after the grave, still bless this channel. Promise.
Anyway, Zach wants to say something, so let's all shut up.
Sheesh.
I had 8 beef taquitos, 3 granola bars, and 2 grilled cheeses.
I'm glad I'm not in your room. It's gonna smell later.
Ah,
Todd, that sounds nice.
Where's the lie?
Make sure you brush your teeth before you go to sleep, sir.
Rome is in the chat. Hello, Rome.
If I could visit any era, I'd find myself pulled toward the Viking Age, not because I long for war or conquest, but because of the rawness of life, the unity of tribes, and the resilience of people who carved out survival with grit, strength, and unshakable identity. The Viking era, with its icy coasts and storm-tossed seas, reminds me a lot of the spirit we need today, a community that stands shoulder to shoulder, weathering whatever comes with honor, courage, and a fierce sense of belonging. I imagine waking up in a rugged longhouse, where family isn't defined by blood but by loyalty, contribution, and shared fire. I see people rising with the sun, preparing not just food or weapons, but preparing their minds and bodies to meet whatever the day brings. Prepping because it's how they live. It's embedded in their rhythm, their story, their very breath. That kind of instinctual preparedness, where survival and faith are woven together, is what I strive to rebuild in this modern world. And I see the Viking era not as fantasy, but as a reflection of the very values I push through unique prepping today. I picture myself learning the art of reading the stars, navigating waters without GPS, trusting not in technology but in wisdom passed down from elders who learn through scars and stories. These are the types of skills we've lost in the noise of convenience and screens, but the Viking Age reminds me that connection, to the earth, to each other, and to our inner voice, used to be enough. In that connection, there's freedom. There's power in knowing you don't need anything artificial to live fully and fight bravely. That's a message I wish more people could feel again.
Well, that came out of nowhere.
I wouldn't go back just to observe, I'd want to participate. To join the hunt. To gather wood. To laugh in the mead halls. To mourn with the grieving. To celebrate the birth of a child or the return of a warrior. These were not passive people. They lived. And while they had their own darkness, as every era does, they knew who they were. They didn't apologize for their strength, and they didn't abandon the weak. The community looked after its own, because survival demanded it. That principle still rings true today, and it's at the heart of everything I do with my prepping family. I'd bring my cerebral palsy with me, and I'd challenge them to see me not as a burden but as someone uniquely gifted for something different. Maybe I'm not wielding the heaviest axe, but I'm sharpening blades, weaving nets, watching skies, and speaking truth that stirs souls. I believe the Viking spirit would honor contribution over conformity. They'd see the strength of someone who doesn't quit. Someone who adapts. Someone who overcomes. That's a form of power no weapon can match, and in that age, where survival was sacred, I believe they'd understand that deeply. In that era, I'd learn what it means to truly rely on a tribe. To know that you don't have to do everything alone, not because you can't, but because you're not meant to. That's something our modern world has twisted. We worship independence to the point of isolation. But back then, your survival was tied to your neighbors, and there was honor in asking for help and offering it freely. That's the kind of system I'm trying to help rebuild, one rooted in mutual responsibility, not just self-reliance. A system where we rise and fall together. I'd listen to the wisdom of their elders, the ones who held stories like sacred scrolls in their minds, who knew the meaning of every wind shift and animal track. They didn't throw away age or experience like we do now. They preserved it, honored it, lived by it. That kind of oral history carried communities through famine, war, and uncertainty. It didn't come from algorithms or textbooks. It came from real, lived experience. That's the kind of learning I want to see more of in prepping circles, learning from each other, not just the internet. I'd pay attention to their rituals, not just for religion but for rhythm. How they marked seasons, honored transitions, and made space for grief and joy. In a time without constant distraction, they leaned into meaning. They knew when to fight and when to feast, when to build and when to burn. That discernment is something I hunger for in today's world, where everything feels urgent but nothing feels sacred. The Viking way reminds me that ceremony matters, and that even the harshest life deserves moments of beauty and pause. I'd sit by the fire with warriors who've lost battles and still hold their heads high. I'd ask them what kept them going. What lessons their scars taught them. How they find peace in a world that constantly threatens to shatter it. Their answers would probably echo the same truths I've found. That suffering isn't weakness. Unity is everything, and that courage is doing what needs to be done, even when you're tired, afraid, or unsure. That fire, those stories, that brotherhood, that's the heartbeat of survival. I'd study their agriculture, how they grew food in rough terrain, stored it through brutal winters, and traded wisely to support what they couldn't produce. It wasn't about greed. It was about strategy. Sustainability wasn't a buzzword, it was a necessity. That practical mindset, rooted in responsibility to land and future generations, is what I'm trying to resurrect through every video, every garden, every teaching moment. Prepping isn't hoarding. It's stewarding. And the Viking way gets that. I'd find moments of laughter, because even in that brutal era, people laughed. They sang. They told jokes. They flirted. They played games. That reminds me that even in prepping, we need levity. We need joy. We can be serious without being miserable. And sometimes, a laugh around the fire is just as healing as any stockpile of supplies. I'd bring that lesson back with me and pour it into every live stream, every community check-in, every day spent encouraging others not to lose their light. I'd walk to the shoreline and watch longships glide across the water, powered by teams who row in sync, driven by shared purpose. No one rows alone. No one carries the weight alone. That image stays with me because that's what I want for unique prepping, not a solo mission, but a fleet of strong souls moving toward a future we believe in, even when the current fights us. We row anyway. Together. That's where the power is. I'd honor their sense of legacy, the idea that your name, your actions, your courage echo long after you're gone. They believed in legacy more than likes. They lived in ways that made generations remember. That's what I want to build, not just content, but impact. Not just a moment, but a movement. If my work today helps even one person stand taller, prepare smarter, or feel less alone, then I've etched my own kind of rune into the stone of time. I'd return from the Viking Age not to escape modern problems, but to bring back old solutions. To remind people what real strength looks like. What community feels like. What it means to prepare not just for yourself but for the village around you. I'd come back with fire in my eyes, stories in my heart, and a deeper belief that we're not too far gone, not if we're willing to fight like they did. With purpose. With unity. With faith. I'd stand taller knowing that even in a world of brutal winters and endless wars, they still built. They still hoped. They still gathered around the fire and believed in tomorrow. That's what I'm doing today. Building. Hoping. Gathering. And believing that even in this chaotic world, our future can be something worth living in, if we're brave enough to shape it together. UP out.
Wow, dude, you have a very, very romantic opinion of the Vikings, and I respect that. You know, I read the Icelandic sagas of Eric, but let me say that the Vikings
wrote
weren't
those
exactly the nice people you make them out to be. Just saying, it's more of a you make them sound like a glamorous movie Vikings, and they just wasn't that, man. They were marauding killers who raided villages.
I don't know. You'd have to go back in time and see for yourself just to know. Like,
Well, you can check out the history of England.
I know. I'm just saying, like, to get the full picture from every perspective, you'd have to see it for yourself.
And there was that one raider, the boneless guy. I can't think of his first name.
But I do think it's ironic that as you're getting rated, you talk about Vikings.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
raided by a South African, nonetheless.
Yeah, weird.
Wow.
What the hell's going on?
I'm gonna go ahead and answer the question.
Okay.
What? Who?
When?
Go ahead.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a Viking tool that I'm going to show you guys.
Oh, cool.
Primstav.
But I'm not.
So if I could go anywhere on the timeline, I would go like 200 years in the future. For one thing, I am an optimist when it comes to the arc of human history. I do believe in human progress. I think we will be better off in 200 years than we are today, assuming we don't all die in a horrible meteor or something. Because I actually do have more faith in humanity than I probably should. The other reason is I'm assuming I can come back. And that would make me a very, very prophetic sci-fi writer. I could write about what the future is actually going to be like. And nobody will believe me now, but they'll see. And then they'll say, that guy was really smart. He knew things. So, yeah, that's my plan. 200 years in the future. That's all I got. I'm good. Yeah.
Or you go 200 years in the future and you get eat by a Morlock.
Well, that was way more than 200 years. That's why I only do 200 years. I don't want to have to deal with the whole evolution of those people in the caves coming up and eating people. Yeah, I don't want to deal with that.
What's the question?
Buff.
The question is do you find
If you could travel to any era, past, present, or future, which would you choose and why?
That's an easy question for me. Is it my turn or bus? Dang it, because I see me.
Oh no, Zach's got the button.
Yeah, I heard Buff and then I see Danny.
Buff, yeah. You're gonna have to wait because Zach.
Danny, you go, Danny, go.
It's me because I called him crawling spear or something.
Yeah, that's why he's picking on you. That's right. How's that?
Okay. If I was gonna time travel, I'd want to go back to 12,000 years BC to find out what really happened in the Younger Dryas, and was there really a advanced society before? You know, was there something really special here that got destroyed 12,000 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
I want to find out. I want to find out the history that the human race has forgotten.
Get all those mysteries out of your way.
Yeah,
and then you'll come back to the present, and you'll be like the aliens guy. Be like, it was all aliens. I'm telling you, nobody will believe.
You know, really, I don't particularly subscribe to the ancient alien theory. as much as I subscribe to the ancient modern technological civilization of humans that existed in the past and was destroyed by a catastrophe. I think when they talk about people coming down from the air and they saw as gods, they were just advanced people from another part of the planet who had the ability to fly, who had flying machines, and it was a total misunderstanding about aliens.
I mean, no, I do tend to believe that like we give people in the past not enough credit, and I do think that there were more advanced civilizations than the history books tell us that we just have forgotten. I buy that. Sure.
You know, you think about the fact that they could have been the most advanced civilization that ever existed here 50,000 years ago. They could have had everything we've got today, and they could have been destroyed. And you know what would be left today? Whatever
Nothing.
they carved in stone, because all their cell phones, computers, and everything would have eroded over time. You can go to there's a junkyard down to not too far from here. When I was a kid, there was 500 old beat up cars in this junkyard. But then they just left it there. And time took it over. And it grew up with grass and trees. And I walked through there not too long ago. And it ain't been but like 40-something years. And now all the cars are rusted out. Once in a while, you see where an engine block was or some glass that didn't break out of a windshield. But there's no cars there no more after 40-something years. In 100 years, there won't be nothing there but a pile of dust.
Yeah, you ever see that show they had on, I think it was like the Discovery Channel back in the day. It was like After People. And
Oh,
it was
yeah.
basically discussing like how long it would take for all evidence of civilization to just disappear. And it
1,000
is a
years.
lot shorter than you think. So,
In
okay.
2,000 years, we're reduced to a level of dust in the ground.
Yeah, then basically there'd be no evidence of us. We'd
Yeah.
just be
Well,
gone.
who knows what was here 50,000, 100,000, or a million years ago? It's been 65 million years since the dinosaurs died. A lot of things could have come and gone in that period of time.
You're not wrong. And that's a cool answer. Like go back in time and answer all those questions. That's really cool. I like that.
I love that thing on Star Trek where the Silurian hypothesis, where the lizard, where the dinosaurs evolved and the lizard people left the planet after the destruction and went out and colonized space. So there's alien lizard
Dinosaur
people from
people,
Earth
yeah.
past in the galaxy now. You like science fiction?
No, I mean I get it. Yeah. Oh. Okay.
All right. So in this scenario, we're going back in time, right?
We're time travelers. We've done the past. We're moving to the present and the future. Yes. So this question is: if you could travel to any era, past or future, or which would you choose and why? Zach chose the Vikings. I'm with Zach. Like I'm totally with Zach.
How
I
long
would
do I
wanna
have to?
see-
Is there like how long do I have to? Are there like stipulations or anything like that?
No.
I don't know, but
You could go to the
BBB
Egyptians.
apparently.
You could go to
Okay.
Adam and Eve.
All right,
You
all
could
right,
go
I got it.
wherever.
I got it. I got it.
I go quickly.
Hey, I got it. I got it.
Hey, yo.
But real quickly, BBB, do you got a fantasy to be carried off by a Viking raider?
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Yikes.
Yes.
Oh boy. Oh boy, there it is.
I'm not gonna
Note to
lie
self,
about that.
costume
Either a
shop
British,
tomorrow.
either a British or a Viking raider. Yes, absolutely. One of the two.
Yeah, she would. And dang it, the costume shop's closed on Sunday tomorrow.
Oh, Dan, you're making me cry.
Danny, that's so funny. All right, Colby, go. Please.
Okay, so what I would do is very simple. I would charge up a couple of iPhones. I would go back in time to the Library of Alexandria. I would take snapshots of everything in there, and then I would help them start the fire. I would help them because I know they're going to do it anyway. So why not have some fun while I'm there? And then I would come back and I would have all of the knowledge that is back there. And then I would sell it for $1 bajillion. That's what I would do.
Jillian.
There's a
put it-
bootstrap paradox in there. Like, did you actually cause the fire? Like, the fire's always been caused by you? Yeah.
Who knows? I do love a good fire.
Yeah.
I do. Like, I always like to have a good fire going behind me. So yeah, like, I would go back in time, copy everything, and then, also have a Bic lighter with me and just set it ablaze as I did it, and then go like, ha ha ha, have fun in the dark ages.
Oh God.
You'd probably be responsible for the Black Plague too, because if you time travel into the future, your immune system won't be able to keep up with the diseases of the future. But if you travel to the past, you'll be able to survive whatever's there, but you will give off whatever pathogens you've grown, and yeah.
Oh man,
you'll have wiped out everybody.
Yeah. Also, make as many children as I possibly can in that time, and then leave single mothers. Leave single mothers, and then bail.
The ultimate male fantasy.
I just want to cause some chaos. That's all I want to do is just cause some chaos.
You're lucky there's only 2 females on this panel.
You guys weren't expecting that, were you?
No, but I loved
Rock
it.
and roll.
I loved it, Colton. I loved it.
Tell it like it is, man. Tell it like it is.
We all love making babies. Raising them's a different thing.
Yeah, I don't want to raise no damn babies.
No, you just want to make the babies. You don't want to raise them babies.
I'll make them ancient babies and then get out of there.
Wow.
Get back to the time where I can play my Apple Music.
Oh, God.
Anyway, get me off this big screen. I'm too beautiful to be up here.
So who hasn't gone? Shane hasn't gone.
Yeah, I'll deal with this. What's the question?
Oh, goodness.
Shane, the question is, if you could travel to any era, past, present, or future, which would you choose and why? So you could be an Egyptian, you could be a caveman eating raw meat, or you could be in the future. What do you want? What's your fantasy there, buddy?
You can eat
raw meat. How do you
know, right?
travel? How do you travel to an era that's present? You just get in your car and drive. You can't travel to the future. That's just impossible because the future does not exist. So it would have to be the past. I would go back to, I guess, 1889, Austria-Hungary, at the Braun Inn. Yeah. On April 20th.
Wow.
I'd go there.
Ooh, on our
and
birthday? On our birthday buff?
Be in a certain room and do a suggestion that Don Cheadle made about Thanos in the Avengers movies about going back to when baby Thanos was born and just there's a certain little child that was born. I'd probably go back to that day, be in that delivery room, and it was just like, oh, maybe you got to put yourself in whiteface, I guess, pass off as it. Part of me and all that, and just
I know who you're
baby
talking
for
about.
cleaning. We take baby for cleaning, and it may seem a little cruel, but
we take
how many
baby for
atrocities
cleaning.
could have been
I
avoided?
actually saw a TV show where somebody did that, and it turned out that the baby that the Hitlers adopted later on became Adolf, and he didn't say nothing.
The what now?
Yeah, I
Danny's
saw a
talking.
show about that.
No, what did he say?
Danny, repeat, please.
Okay, somebody went in this show. This lady went back in time. She took Hitler when he was born and chucked him in the ocean, chucked him in the lake, and drowned him. But the Hitlers adopted another child after the loss and named him Adolf. So it turned out it didn't stop nothing.
Okay,
It turned out Hitler was adopted.
but if at all possible, to go in the future, I'd probably go about, give or take, 100 years ahead. Or we could use the model that the whole climate people try to use that has been, of course, debunked. Let's go when they think the sun's gonna burn out. Yeah, let's go about, I don't know, what they say, like 20,000, 50,000 something years in the future. Let's see if the sun still exists. Oh, still there. Yeah, interesting. But yeah, you can all. That's a tricky question still, though. It's loaded because time travel, I just don't believe in time travel. But I guess
That's
for the
the next
hypothetical,
Mhm.
I mean, yeah. They go in the future. Yeah, I'll keep it moderate, reasonable. Let's go about 100 years into the future. See if we get our hoverboards yet. Where's my hoverboard? All right, Back to the Future promised me a hoverboard. You know. Anyway, maybe about 100 years. See where we're at. We're still a function. I mean, that's a good. You know,
Ooh, like
let's put it in a good
Buff,
good
you have a
average
comment here.
generation. I'll put it in a good
You
average
have a comment.
generation. 70 years. See where we're at.
Yeah, Jeremy,
See what's
traveling to
going
the
on.
future is the
What's
easy
the
part.
comment?
It's coming back.
I can't read it.
He
The
said,
screen's too
wrong,
small.
sick. Future time travel has always been possible. Only way we travel there in real time as opposed to jumping ahead in the timeline.
No, you can't go to something that doesn't exist. You can't go to the future. It doesn't exist. This is one of the things that movie, Back to the Future, got right. Well, in the first part anyway.
Got it, Danny.
You can't go to something that doesn't exist. The past does exist. Could be possible, maybe. That's a whole drawn out thing that I've spent too much time talking with other people about this. We're not going to get into all that. But the future, it just doesn't exist. I don't know what's going to happen in 5 minutes. Like Danny was saying about his thing about plans for the future and stuff is just like, I think Caldy, I think he said it too. I don't know what's going to happen in the next 30 minutes. Nobody does. So how can you go to that point? It doesn't exist. The past has already happened. I could see a possibility of that. And not in the Superman method of spinning around the Earth. So that would only just make the sun move back. That's so stupid in that movie. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to 1889 in Austria.
That's
What?
funny.
What?
I'm good.
Going to Austria, 1889.
It's going to
August
Austria,
20th.
1889,
To a
420.
certain delivery room.
420.
Oh, okay. All right. That's all I needed to hear was 420. Now I understand because you
Yeah.
guys talk about that
He
way
wants
too
to
much
hijack
about who
Hitler.
y'all share a birthday with.
He
Yep.
wants to kidnap Hitler. That's all. That's all he wants to do is kidnap
Get
Hitler.
baby Thanos.
And then that way our birthdays aren't tragically aligned with something so horrifying.
Well, we still got the other problems with it. I mean,
That's
we
right.
did a stream on that.
Hey, it was good though. I think that we did well. I showed up as Tigger. Come on now. In a costume. I literally was wearing a Tigger costume. If you guys haven't seen it,
Absolutely adorable.
The funny part was you showed up in a tiger costume and most people didn't notice.
Oh, jeez.
no, they noticed. Like I literally had the Tigger
So it
face.
was
I literally came dressed as Tigger from Winnie the Pooh, like Tigger. I had the
Aw.
hood up with the face, and like I literally showed up to our birthday live stream dressed as Tigger.
How cute.
Trouncy, trouncy, trouncy.
I
trouncy.
thought it was
Fun,
funny.
fun.
Fun. The most wonderful thing about Tiggers is I'm the only one. I'm the only one. Ooh.
But if not then, I'd probably go back to the medieval times. You know,
Ooh,
like
Curse is saying the same thing,
the-
Buff. We already dealt with Hitler in a different life and found out if you're in that rabbit hole, you're no Adolf Hitler. The baby was switched at birth. Now think about that,
That's
is what he said.
what Danny was talking
If-
about.
If not,
Yeah.
then I'd go back to the medieval times, the days of King Arthur and the knights in their armor and everything, and knowing what you know now about medieval armor, about the vulnerable points of the armor, a lighter sword, I'd probably go with a katana, and just
Yeah,
straight
that's why they didn't
jabs.
mess with Japan.
Or you could just take a good old AK-47 with you and have the thunder sword.
I'd be the baddest warrior in the land who wore no armor. Just stab. Why'd you get me? Oh, stab. Anyway, I'm good. I'm done.
And then they'd make an
Danny,
Assassin's
what-
Creed game about you.
Yeah, Danny, what movie was that you watched that they?
It was an episode of the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
Oh, the Twilight Zone.
Cradle
Those
of
were
Filth.
always bizarre.
A
Okay.
time-traveling woman goes back to kill Hitler, and she kidnaps Hitler as a baby and drowns him. But it turns out that it was another baby that was Hitler, not him. Family really adopts another baby that becomes Hitler. So it didn't help to do that.
Okay.
So you go back and try
It
to
really
change
kinda
time.
caused it. It caused
So
it,
you go
actually.
back and try to change time, and time says, no, absolutely not. This is happening. This needs to happen to place things in the future. Is that what you guys are saying?
Yeah, it's
No, that's what they're saying. I'm saying
Yeah,
I'd
I know,
go
that's-
back and
yeah.
snap a baby's neck.
okay, without getting too technical, it's the Kip Thorne mathematics of time travel that, like, mathematically, if time travel were possible and if you could go back in time, the only way to solve things like the grandfather paradox is that no matter what you do in the past, you can't actually change anything. That, like, whatever happened in lost terms. Yeah, so if you went back in time and you killed a baby that you thought was Hitler, it would turn out that you'd always done that, and that Hitler wasn't actually killed as a baby. You made some mistake. You know, if you went back in time and tried to kill your grandfather,
that's
then you
making
never could
sense
have
to
actually.
me.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm talking out of the womb.
Yeah,
I
I know.
what room your mom's.
I'm just trying to explain what we're talking about.
Hold on, a quick
So
question.
no, wait,
though.
Curse said something. I was reading that. Zach, hold on. Where are you at? Curse
Curse
said
is crazy.
Curse said the grandfather paradox is a lie, but Bootstrap will blow up the planet.
I'm not sure
Right.
what he's referring to, but the bootstrap
Yeah, I
paradox is the idea that, you know,
Curse,
if like
you need
you
to
are
come
your
up
own
to
grandfather,
explain.
you know, like
Curse.
No.
I'm my own grandpa.
the bootstrap
got it.
paradox is that, like, if you travel back in time and you do something that had always had been done before, then, like, if you have you seen Somewhere in Time, like, if you follow the watch in Somewhere in Time, that, like, he gives this watch to the girl in the past, and then the girl in the past grows up and gives him the watch when he's younger. So where does the watch start and where does it end? That's the bootstrap paradox. It never ends. It's a loop. So it's like pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, which doesn't actually make any sense, but, like, that's the paradox.
So Curse says
Now-
you have a big enough brain tug. You're
Now, does
explaining
the
it very
I've
well.
done a lot of research into time travel. I know a lot about
Yeah.
it, okay?
He says you have a big enough brain. You're handling it just fine.
Does the
I know
principle
time travel.
apply that Caldy was saying? Are we going to said place, and is there a return trip?
Yeah, the return trip is the hard part. I mean, it's
I
easy
mean,
to
am I
travel.
going?
Yeah.
Yeah, am I going to the past or the future? And
It's up to
I
you.
do
That's
what I
it's
do.
what you do.
Th-
Yeah.
No, it's not up to me. That the basis of the question has to be a set of rules.
Dude, I just went
This
back
is
in
my
time
house.
with my
Here's
iPhone
where the
and
rules.
recorded
Here's where the
the
rules get
libraries
messed
of
up.
Alexander and then burned it.
Okay, this
No,
is my house.
The rules get messed up when you time travel, because if you actually did go back in time and change something, then you create what's called a paradox, a different timeline, and the timeline you come back to isn't the same one you necessarily left.
Yes.
Different theory. That's the many
Paradox.
worlds interpretation.
Of course.
Completely different
I mean-
interpretation of time travel. Yes.
Thank you, Ajamin. Thank you,
can't mess
Jamin.
yourself up time traveling.
Jeremy, here we drop everybody's links. We support each other. Let's go. Let's grow. We all support each other.
Have you ever heard of John Teeter?
Of course,
Have you ever heard of Loki?
Not the Marvel, but the Viking Loki I've heard of. Yes.
No, I'm talking about the
I don't.
Marvel. But
I don't care about the Marvel. I
Pretty
like.
sure the
Fair
Marvel
enough.
Loki was
I like the Norse.
John Titor,
Loki.
and
You
also
do realize the Loki and Thor in the Marvel movies are the Loki and Thor from North history, right?
No.
Yes,
Well, yes.
absolutely. Loki, Thor, Odin, Freya, they're all the Norse history, which I can't wait to show you guys what I have here. It's a
Oh, right, I forgot
primstav.
about that.
You know,
Okay,
can't
well,
wait
you're
to
gonna
show
get
you
big
guys.
so you can show us.
Yeah,
Oh
show
God,
us.
somebody's
Please.
putting me big.
It's already midnight.
Okay. Okay. Winter. Okay. So one side, this is copper, by the way, and they used to make them out of wood. This is a primstav. It is from the Viking
wow.
calendar. Okay. I do absolutely study and love Norse religion. I try to figure out the Viking ways. Like Zach, I like to figure out their calendar, how they plant, how they harvest. And I think this is one of the reasons, like, I could pretty much put anything in the ground and make it grow. I took an avocado pit out of an avocado in my kitchen and I stuck it in a little with a couple little toothpicks. It is now this big.
Wow.
I'm like, oh, okay. So this is Somner, and don't think of that horror movie. I know what you guys are thinking, that horrible horror movie, Somner. But it has, let's see if you guys can see it. So it has dates on like what is like a ruler across here.
Wow.
It's upside down. There you go. And so see like the scissors, there's symbols, right? There's like a sigh that you like harvest, plant, there's seeds, there's a picture of a pig, like this is when to slaughter. So it's like this is summer, and all they had back then is summer and winter. And see, winter is on the other side. So winter is on the other side. And so it has, oh, sorry. Why am I apologizing to my mic?
Because you're too nice.
Okay. But winter also has different things of when to take the animals in. So now here's the funny part. This day where the scissors are at is September 11th. A lot of us know that date for a really big reason. September 11th. This day, if it's sunny, you're going to not do anything. You're just going to continue to go on. However, if this day is cloudy, you're going to pull your crops early. You're going to bring your animals in and you're going to prepare for an early winter. Every single time on that day that it's been cloudy on September 11th, that has happened. Winter has started early. Storms have happened. Like it's crazy that this thing is so ancient, but yet still accurate. And I'm like, and how is it accurate Scandinavia and where I'm at in California? Oh, because it's what's going on in your atmosphere. So it's really interesting. There's some more that is like everyone need to come together and celebrate. I believe that's close to New Year's. But this is considered, a lot of people consider Viking religion a pagan religion. And Christianity tried to wipe out the pagan religion by all other religions. How do I put that? Like they thought all other religions other than Christianity was, yes, does it account for a leap year? Yes, it does. It says 4 times, so every 4 years times 1 here.
Wow.
It's very interesting. If you guys ever get a chance to look up on Google or something, a primstav, I have been
Well, that is
studying this.
cool.
It's very, very interesting. So one of the things on this calendar here is a bag of seed, and it's early February. Now, here's something else that's very intriguing to me. Why is there a UFO on here? There is literally a UFO, a flying saucer on this calendar.
Danny was right.
They're coming to visit us. Like, there's literally a UFO on there. It's literally a UFO. Can you see it?
Yeah. Crazy,
See
huh?
it? Can you see it now?
Looks like Saturn.
No,
Yeah.
it's a UFO. And then there is an axe, which means start clearing out debris and getting things ready to plant. And then the next one is getting ready. And then this one is marriage. So this female
Wow.
standing here is when they would get married, because they felt that that was the right moon and the right time to marry, which would be within the right. They believed in so many like moon phases and the water flowing more in the spring, that it was more plentiful. It was drier, but you got to remember where they were at. Yes, Doom. This is a primstav. It's a primstav. Yes. But it is amazing. And I've had this thing for about 5 years now. And every single year I like try to follow the calendar just to see like how close it is. It dumbfounds me every time. It's really odd. It's very odd how this thing works, but it's always accurate. And that is weird to me, because I'm like, they must have known something, right? They
It
had
goes
have
back
been
to what I was saying.
educated.
I think we underestimate how smart ancient peoples were.
Exactly. They were
Yeah.
not idiots back then. They
No.
were not idiots.
Yeah, and they knew like when to pull the animals in, where not to pull the animals in. Do you know which regional variation you have? Doom, I would let me look. That's
Yeah.
a very good question, Doom.
Is it Swedish? Is it Finnish? Is it Norwegian?
It
Or
says
Swedish?
it's Scandinavian. So I don't know.
Scandinavian? Well, that's all three.
Yeah.
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 It has
Yeah.
the markings on the handle. Can you see that? On one side. It only has it on one side. But on one side it says Somner, and the other side says WHITER, which I think is winter, like winter and summer. So they only have two sides.
Winter.
Winter. Yeah, VHITER. Yeah. So I think that's winter.
And I think that would be mostly kind of Norwegian.
I think so.
Norway.
Yeah, I think so. But I
didn't realize
absolutely.
what horror movie you were talking about. It took me a while. Got it.
Oh, Somner. Sierra made me watch that, and I hated her afterwards. I was like, I don't ever. Why are you so disturbing? And she goes, "It's a good movie, Mom." No.
Okay.
So Doom says, yeah, middle age is pretty old. Yeah, I just am fascinated. I absolutely love and I'm totally brain bending when I'm getting into the Scandinavian old history of the Norse, and a lot of that has been lost because it's been burned. Like so many libraries were burned, and the
By
records. Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
there's a lot of history left with the Norse, and it's called the Icelandic sagas. And if you read through it, I think there's like 106 volumes involving Eric the Red and the conquest of Greenland and stuff like that. There's there's a lot of literature.
And it all
Danny,
ends
you
with
have me
Bjork.
intrigued. Danny,
Huh?
you're going to have to text me that so I can get those books.
If
Just for you,
you
Caldy.
really want to learn about the Vikings, who gave up their evil ways.
What are you laughing at?
A lot of the Vikings became Christians, and believe it or not, a lot of them actually went on the Crusades into the Holy Lands with King Richard.
Let me mute myself.
What is going on? Oh, that's it. That's it. Step forward, son.
Tug said the history of Iceland and Greenland ends with Bjork.
Yeah.
And I can't argue with that because after she has come onto the scene, what in the F? I call myself, what in the F have they done other than Eve Online? Nothing. Nothing. They've done nothing.
They've reached their apex, and their apex was Bjork.
Doom.
Jesus.
Doom.
Behavior.
It's oh so quiet.
I love Doom's comments. Like, they're fascinating.
It's oh
Doom,
so
I guess
quiet.
mine is it so complex?
I'm going to have to look up Doom's interesting stuff. Like, what is snoring?
He seems to be the guy you need to talk to, yeah.
I know. I'm very intrigued right now, okay? My brain is bended. Doom, you bended my brain.
Blended your brain.
You bended my brain.
Blended your brain.
Not blended, bended. Ugh.
I'm teasing.
Behave.
Sorry, it's all I do.
Oh, okay. He wrote the okay. Now I got it. Okay. The Viking Bible, basically.
Oh, okay. I don't know anything about the Vikings, so honestly, it's all interesting to me.
So the Prosetta is kind of like a book of the history that is left of the Vikings, and it's kind of like their stories they're missed. It's kind of like the Bible of Vikings. Like, what you guys just have to Google it. Like, if you want more information, Google it. It's very fascinating. It's really cool.
Chrissy, I sent you an audio book about the Icelandic saga so you can listen to it when you're driving.
Thank you. That will be great for me so that I don't have to have Jake and Kirst and Zach and everybody keeping me up on my way home from work at night. Because sometimes I get off at 10 o'clock at night and I'm like, I have a drive home and it's in the darkness. Valhalla, Kirst, Valhalla. And so, which is heaven, by the way, so you guys know, in the Norse, Valhalla is heaven. It's one of the heavens. But yeah, like Zach, Kirst, Jake Hudson, Mayhem. When I get off really late and I'm extremely tired and I have a whole hour drive home in the pitch dark, these guys are taking care of me. They're literally on the phone with me being like, stay awake. Stay awake. Call me. That's it. I'm getting called.
I'm sorry. I was still in a Bjork kick. I can't say what her first band meant, but I put it in back chat.
Okay.
Oh, let me go see. Oh my god!
And she would dress up like a doll with like red circles and everything. Like powder on her head.
God.
That's why he put it in back chat.
Come out and sing
That's why he put it in back chat. Oh my god! All right, it's 2 hours 24 minutes.
It's time to say goodbye, folks.
And I didn't even get my turn. No, I'm just
kidding. No, I'm putting you up. I'm not forgetting you. We're trying to get back on track.
I'm teasing you.
You can tease me all you want, Tracy.
Um, Mine is really simple because I miss my mom and dad so much. I wish I could just go back in time just to see them and talk to them again because it was only us. I don't have any brothers or sisters, so I grew up as an only, and that was my family, my mom and dad. It was all three of us. So I just kind of want to go back to the 70s or whatever, and or maybe even the 80s, and just see them and talk to them one more time and hug them one more time, you know,
Yeah.
because I really miss them a lot. And, they did so much for me. And it's like, I didn't really realize it till one day I was really thinking about it really hard. And it was like, I started just, I had a bad day. I was bawling all day. But long story short is, yeah, I just miss my mom and dad. Simple as that. That's it.
No, that's actually a really good answer.
They say if you tell yourself that you're going to dream about somebody, you can go to sleep thinking of it and actually dream about them that night. So you might be able to talk to them in your dreams.
Yeah. I just miss calling my mom or calling my dad. And it's like, I still remember the phone number back home by heart. It's weird. It's weird because it's like I have nobody really to talk to. And I never got to see them be fuddy-duddy old people, never saw them with complete white hair. And I never saw them, with canes or anything like that, or in nursing homes or anything. I didn't get that luxury, I guess, of seeing them like that. Maybe they didn't want me to see them like that, but long story short is I miss the hell out of them.
Yeah, I kind of know how you feel.
I dropped a song in the back chat, Tracy, for you to look up at your leisure. That I think you'd like this song.
Oh yeah, I love Mamas and Papas.
It's not them. It's by a band called Supergrass, but it's a song called Mama
yeah.
and Papa, and it's literally about missing
Oh.
Mama and Papa.
Oh, I read it
And
wrong. Oh yeah,
it's-
that's cool.
It's beautiful, and I wish I could play it, but it's beautiful.
Copyright.
Like, I love your music. So fine. Like, I just love it.
So there you are. That's my whole story, and I guess I'm sticking with that one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, I don't have to go back to the, I'd rather read history than, be in it. I mean, kind of violent, I like ancient Rome. So
Yeah, the past was the worst. Like,
Yeah.
I would want to be in the past. Like, I don't want to hang out with the Vikings. Are you kidding? I'd live like maybe.
stupid bloody Vikings.
I feel like I would dominate in a Viking culture. I feel like I'd be like,
Can you
"Step aside,
speak ancient
I'm
Norwegian?
I will. I would. I know. Yeah, I'm sure I'd figure it out quick. I speak 3 languages right now.
Is one of them ancient Norwegian?
No, I learn languages very quickly, though.
All right, first test, Chrissy. How do you say cheers in Norwegian, or Swedish, or Finnish?
Cheers.
Skål.
Oh,
Skål.
Isn't there a beer
Oh, because
called
we drink
Skull?
beer out of people's skulls. Okay, got it.
I don't think it's because of that.
No.
I think that's what it is.
No.
Vikings were brutal.
it comes from the same Latin prefix, skull, which basically means container.
Ask me in it exactly the skull.
But that's not because they're drinking out of a skull. They're drinking out of a container.
You know
the
how
skull is a container for your
You
brain.
know I'm messing with you guys right now, right? I'm brain bending.
like the skull. Like, have you ever drank out of a skull? It doesn't hold that much liquid. You got to get.
Ew.
And it's really messy. There's so
It's
many
really
holes.
messy, and you
Yeah.
got the cleaning process is not good. Like it's.
Oh, I've
it's
got
not great.
Vikings on panel. Tracy, do you see this? I got Vikings on panel
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but-
know.
that tell us how to drink out of a skull. And
Oh,
say,
I'm not a
skull.
Viking. I'm just a sailor.
Now, the basic human skull only holds 7.9 ounces. What you really want to get is one of them big, long, elongated skulls, because they hold a lot more. You got to get your alcohol in.
You want to get a crystal skull. Those are the best ones because then they also
put nothing in a
they
crystal.
hold
That was a
value
solid
and
piece
they
of
hold the liquid.
crystal.
If you buy one of those, though, dump out the vodka because the Crystal Skull vodka tastes like ass.
Yeah.
Hey, whoa, come on now. Dan Aykroyd makes
I've
that
seen
stuff. You know
that.
it's
Thank you, Doom.
I know Dan
Thank you,
Aykroyd makes it.
Doom.
That's why it tastes like ass.
Okay, well, here's my thing, right? It contains the brain. I agree with Doom. It contains the brain. Therefore, it's the skull. That's why they call it drinking from the container. I completely believe that.
That's what I. Anyway, whatever.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
I could be
You're
morbid.
wrong.
It's fine.
Oh,
Yeah, Harper. I
The only
could make
people
that-
who drink
I
out
could
of
say
skulls
that.
are D&D players. Everybody knows that.
I rolled a 20. That means I get to drink from the skull. Ho, ho, ho.
I rolled an 88. So Doom says he used to be Viking. Doom, you should
How did you stop
probably
being
come
one?
up sometime. You
What
should
happened?
probably come up sometime and join us as a special guest on our panel and talk to us about this stuff. This is interesting.
They must have
Latin
excommunicated
base,
him.
skull, and container are two different words. Triple B, you are correct.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Who'd have think?
Well, I'll tell you what. When I go back to the Library of Alexandria, I'll find out. And then I will tell you the answer for 1 Bitcoin, Chrissy.
Oh God.
I don't care about Bitcoins.
I do.
I know you do. You want to get rich on Bitcoins. I don't
Hell
care
yeah.
about Bitcoins. You know what I care about? Watch
What?
time right now.
Watch time.
I need watch
She's
time.
trying to get monetized.
Yeah, and I'm 700 hours away. I need monetization.
I thought you were monetized. I thought you were getting super chats and stuff.
I am, but I'm not monetized fully. I only have Super Chats membership, and
You get permissions in a specific order.
yeah, I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
Like
monetized.
watch hours and all that stuff. Yeah.
Shit, to me, that's monetized.
Quite cherry picking, Triple B. Thank
I mean,
you.
yeah, she can make money, but yeah, she can't like get money off of ads and stuff like
Doom says we're all correct.
Oh boy.
Quite cherry picking. Yes, I know. I know.
that. How can
Doom.
we all be correct when we're arguing with each other?
Exactly.
It's a debate. It's fine. This is entertainment. We're entertaining people.
I'm teasing.
I don't feel that tickler. Stop it. That's supposed to be a mind tickler. Haha.
Oh, okay. I didn't get
I
it.
was off.
I was just.
You went somewhere else. We need to start the
I
after
think I'm
party.
still there. I don't know.
I'm 49 hours away from the first level of monetizing.
Woohoo!
49 hours. You whooped my butt, Zach. You whooped my butt because we were at the same, and then you just bypassed me. You have a
Wow.
very strong community, Zach. I'm very proud of you. I'm very honored and complimented to be your buddy and your friend and your sister. Very good, Zach.
It's gonna get
Wow.
Zach,
Yeah,
Zach
man, Zach
monetized, get you fully monetized,
Yeah.
and then you guys can grift and we can reap the benefits.
Yeah.
Lift.
Caldy, just so you know, I'm going to start doing a BBB after dark every Wednesday night.
I wish I could have been awake for the one the other night.
Oh my God, it was off the hook.
Yeah, well, that's a panel show. Yeah, congratulate. That's a panel show at late at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talked by Bricky and them into dropping the link publicly for people to just come up.
Mm-hmm.
And they told me if they were good or not. And I think they dropped $360 in super chats
Wow.
that night. And I was like, what is going on? Like, and everybody was debating, everybody was arguing, everybody was talking, but everybody loved each other. Everybody was really cool with each other. They're all friends. They all know each other.
Yep.
But I never felt so much support. It was an interesting experience that opened my eyes as a YouTuber. Is like, okay, I can't keep it just like at this. I have to expand. I have to open up a little bit and do something different. And I have to do like what these people want and what these people want.
Mhm.
So now Wednesday night, I'm going to be doing a BBB after dark. And the rest of my channel will stay the same. But every Wednesday night, we're going to step outside the box. We're going to do a BBB after dark.
Cool.
After Zach closes, because I'm not going to trample on my little brother right there.
Aw.
What you ought to do is you ought to make people debate Zach, because that would make you say, "Oh, Zach," and I'm saying this from a grifter standpoint. You would make so much money. I'm gonna say it in Ricky's voice. You would make so much
So
money.
much money.
So much
So much
money.
money.
So much money, my friend.
All right. And the very last question. Are you guys ready to like bust through this last question real quick?
Let's bust through it.
There's more.
Right.
Let's break on
There's
through.
one question left. And I put Zach because I know he's going to want to. No. What do you mean, no? You've been going
Sure.
first all night, taking the buttons. You get the first one. Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do. I'm going to make you big. I also have buttons. Now what? Now what? I have buttons. Okay. Oh, nope.
Oh, okay.
They're fighting. Siblings.
Yeah, I'm getting dizzy.
Okay. Migraine.
Do you think time travel would ever be possible, or is it purely science fiction?
He's dying.
There's that deep belly laugh I was looking for. There's that deep belly laugh. Do you think time travel would ever be possible, or is it purely science fiction, Zach? Does somebody want to go while Zach's typing? Because it might take him a minute.
I think it's more science fiction.
Nope, he said give him a minute. All right, give me the finger, Zach. Zach gave me the finger.
It's the second finger you've gotten this week.
I know, right?
Right.
Right.
That.
It's truth, though.
Oh
It's true.
God, that's so funny. The second one you've got.
No, purely science fiction.
What is his answer?
That was
Oh,
it.
he said it purely
Yeah, he
science
just said
fiction.
no science, just science
It's-
fiction.
He thinks it's purely science fiction. He does not think that there's time travel. Okay.
Well, that's a
Holy
record
crap,
short
bro.
answer for him, ain't it?
Okay.
think so.
Tug.
Oh,
your
you
turn.
want me to go? Okay. Well, yes, I do think it is possible.
You wrote a book on it.
I did. The reason I think it's possible is because the physics works, the math works. If you can actually either make or harness a wormhole, which is technology well beyond our bounds right now, then time travel has to be possible. There's no way around it, because if one end of the wormhole can be put in one place with high gravitation, the other one can be put somewhere else, then they will travel through time at different rates. So then if you go in one, you go into the past, and you go in the other one, you go into the future. There's lots of things like that where the math does work out, and it is possible. It requires ridiculous amounts of energy and technology that we do not have and will not have for a very, very long time. But yes, I do believe it is possible. Now, if we could actually build a time machine, the one wrinkle is that we wouldn't actually be able to go any further into the past from the moment we made the time machine. Like, that would be as far back as you could go. So you can't actually build a time machine and go back to ancient Rome. You just can't. There's no way for that to work unless you somehow find a time machine that has already existed. You can only travel from that point on. So yes, I do think it's possible. I don't think it's likely. I don't think it's something we'll see in our lifetimes. But yes, I do absolutely think it's possible. The physics works. They just do. The end.
The end.
I totally disagree with everything he just said.
Nope, that means you go next.
Okay.
And now for an opposing viewpoint. I believe time is linear. I believe all things happen at once. Like what's happening in the past, the present, and the future is all happening on the same exact instant. You can travel from place to place if you create a wormhole that can travel from point A to point B in time, much like you travel in time and space. Once again, I agree that the energy output would be more than we're capable of doing at this point in time. But to say it's totally impossible, nah. I think you can go into the past just as much as you can go into the future if you can crack the constant of time. If you got to look at time in a different viewpoint, you can't look at time as what happened and what's gonna happen. It's all happened. It's got to look at it as a flow,
Yeah,
like
time
water.
isn't okay.
Yeah,
Let's make
a
this clear.
fluid.
Time is not a discrete thing. It is space time. Time is a part of the universe. It's part of the fabric of the universe. It is as much it's a dimension basically. So like traveling through time is basically just traveling through space. It's the same thing.
Theoretically,
Yeah.
but if you went back in the past, I'm of that viewpoint of the multiple dimensional thing.
Yeah,
That
see,
it
I'm
would
not.
create a paradox, and you wouldn't be able to change nothing. You'd just come back to an altered reality.
I think the
A-
many worlds interpretation was just like a thought experiment that has no basis in science. That's just my opinion, though.
Once again, it all wraps up to the point that it's all theory when it comes to time travel. Because if we could travel in time, eventually somebody would know because we would have come back and say, "Hey, look, we traveled in time."
Well, that's the Hawking thing. But yeah, like
Yeah.
on a quantum level, time travel is happening all the time. Antimatter is basically just matter traveling backwards through time. And when matter and antimatter collide and explode, what's actually happening is one piece of matter is going forward in time, huge burst of energy, then going backwards in time. That's how antimatter works.
But once again, time travel and time goes to man's relative concept of what time is. If you want an example of time travel, right now, me and Tracy are existing in the future compared to Chrissy out in California, who's 3 hours behind us. She's
Yeah,
in
that's
the
not how
past.
time works.
Theoretically, she's in the past.
Mhm.
I do
But
see
yet
how
we're
that
all,
is like what he's saying. I do see what he's saying.
you see, we're existing at the same time,
Yeah.
but then Tracy's in the future and she's in the past right now
Mhm.
due to man's concept of time.
Tug, that comment's for
It's
you.
true.
He never said that. No, I am your father. It always has been.
Once
I don't
again,
believe in the
yes,
Mandela effect.
he might have said that, but some wrinkle in time, somebody actually doing something in time caused what's called a Mandela effect and changed the outcome of small stuff like
I
that.
don't actually believe in the Mandela effect. I think it's just
Just
people's
because you
memories
don't
are
believe in it, don't mean it ain't true.
accurate,
Yeah, I
but
know a
that doesn't
lot of
change
people
my
that
argument.
believe in it. Yeah, I know a lot of people that do believe in it. Like
Something me and Tug agree on. I do not believe in the Mandela effect. You're just remembering
Buff
stuff
is
wrong.
alive.
I've been here the whole time.
We agree
I
on a
know,
lot of
but your
things, Buff.
camera's off. We can't see you. You're dark. We don't.
Especially
I'm
we're
editing
diehards.
a video. I got my mic muted and camera
You're
on. Editing.
multitasking, really?
Yes. Yes.
He's
I love you,
cheating.
Buff.
Yes.
I
Anyway,
love you,
sorry.
Buff.
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
love you,
Sorry.
Buff. I
Look,
love you,
if you want to
Twinsy.
interrupt to agree with me, you can do that all night long. It's fine.
I'm in a hurricane, the storm, and the wind, and lightning, and the power's
Ugh.
flickering.
Oh, Jesus.
Just so
Yeah.
you know, I love you, Buff.
Oh, and let me just drop my answer in real quick. Speaking of Tug, no, I mean, well, I guess I've already answered this question because, yeah, I just don't believe in the concept of being able to travel forward. Maybe back
Hold on,
present. That
Zach.
makes no
That wasn't
sense.
long enough for me to
So-
read it. Hold
That's
on.
what
Zach.
I was. Jim
Hold
was
on.
saying what I was saying.
Okay. Okay, I had to read it. Like Zach went so fast, I was like, hold on, I didn't get to see what that was said. Okay, go ahead, Zach. I give you the buttons.
What's
Hands
going
up.
on here? Hold on.
I have terrible news for everybody. When I went back in time to the Library of Alexandria, I also busted up their time machine so that they could not come back and forth. So
How did you get back here?
it's on me. Sorry about that.
Because he never left. Whoa.
Whoa.
Curse says that you're gonna have a good back and forth with him, Tug. He's gonna tug at you.
I'm just citing
all-
Richard Feynman, man. I mean, like when I
Curse
got the
is-
end of you're
Yeah,
not
Curse
arguing
is
with me.
all
You're
about-
arguing with Richard Feynman. And if you want to argue with one of the greats of quantum physics, go right
Yeah.
ahead. I'm not going to stop you.
I love Doom.
Curse
Doom's
is
like it's
all
for the
about
best, Caldy. It's for the best, Caldy.
Yeah,
I love Doom. That's awesome.
I had to do what I had to do.
Oh my, bro.
No, also, I took this little demon with me. It was her fault.
Oh, Velcro.
Mm.
Hi, Velcro.
Quantum
Hi,
physics is
Velcro.
90% theory and way open to interpretation.
Hi, Velcro. Sweetness. Kitty, 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 kitty.
Aw,
agree with that.
I had my dog on just a few minutes ago. She
Doggone.
came in my room,
You
and I
sweet,
couldn't
little,
help but pick her up.
you sweet little killer. Tell everybody what you did to the library at Alexander. How
Oh,
you,
God.
how you peed on all those old ancient
God.
scrolls.
You're going to have to see
Wasn't that,
Noni.
wasn't
Come
that funny?
We know
Wasn't that
that's
funny? That was
there wasn't
hilarious.
nothing there when you got there.
here.
Call D.
That was awesome. That was awesome how
Yeah.
we did that Velcro. That was amazing. That was amazing.
You guys pulled off a coup.
We messed up society, Velcro. That's what we did. We messed up society.
Come here, baby.
That's all I had. That was
Oh, you're pugalicious.
This is Noni.
Oh, she's cute.
She's my shadow. And if you guys hear snoring during the live stream, she's always under my desk.
I need your address so I can send a CPAP mask to that dog.
Yeah.
My dog snores too. She's a Chihuahua and she snores pretty loudly.
Need
Yeah, but
food?
she has no septum.
Just
Look,
come here,
her
Chloe.
quishy. Her quishy nose. Quishy nose. She has no septum. So, like, sometimes at night, she'll wake me up. It's like, "Arr, arr." I'm like, she's 12 pounds. She's
Mine's
12 pounds.
She's really cute. She
Are
is
you on
really
YouTube
adorable.
right now? Are you
I'm in
on
love
YouTube right now?
already.
I know, she's so sweet.
Mama,
She's my
She snort.
Mama,
like
I can't breathe. I can't breathe, Mama.
Look,
Against
there
all
is
odds,
a
that
kitty.
pug pushes on.
There is a kitty on the stream. There's a kitty. There was Velcro. Did you see the kitty? You love kitties. You love kitties.
I couldn't smell it, Mama.
You love
Oh,
kitties.
Make sure on the after party that I tell you what me and Mayhem's Native American names are.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, we've already heard Zach's a few times tonight. Yeah.
What?
Crawling blade.
Oh,
Mayhem's was tame. Mine was not.
Okay.
Are you cuddling with
Well,
mommy?
right,
Are you trying to
right.
cuddle with mommy? Ow, those
Zach-
are called boobies.
They named Zach Crawling Blade till he gets
Yeah, Crawling
excited,
Blade.
then he becomes
Yep,
Crawling
Rolling
Spear.
blade. Yeah.
Till he gets excited, then he becomes Crawling Spear.
Mayhem's was man that sits down while peeing.
Why would you want to?
He named
Tomorrow,
himself.
Colby and I are going to have a donation stream. I'm asking for $375 to upgrade to a better soundboard, heavier headphones, and a case to transport my equipment if I go places to have my full setup.
Cool.
rock
Awesome.
and roll.
I am also having a stream tomorrow, but earlier in the day, I'm sure. Where
Thank you,
I'm-
Doom.
Or I'm celebrating Star Wars Day by talking about Star Wars.
I'm gonna try to be there,
BB's
Tug.
can try to be there. Yeah.
It all depends on what's going on here.
I'll be in
Like
the
if she
chat.
has a bad morning,
And Chance will be there. So
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
I'm gonna be there in chat criticizing Star Wars.
okay. Look, do me a favor, Tug. If I can't make it because my mom's having a bad day, send Danny the link. Let him come up for me.
oh, you want Danny instead? Okay.
But just if I don't show up within
I'm
15
going to be
minutes.
on tomorrow night with Thrash Pondo Pines on his channel doing a show too.
With Sarah, she gonna be there too?
Yeah, but I'm not sure what the show's about.
But you don't know what the show's about?
I'm kind of confused.
I try to tell all you guys every week what the show's about. Now I have Tracy. Tracy, you have my number now, so now
Yes.
we can communicate. So yeah, I can make sure everybody knows what the show's about.
Tracy, I
That.
got your number.
I got your number. Tracy, I got your number. I'm waiting for Tug to do a Dark Crystal, one of my favorite
Oh.
movies of all time.
Wow.
Okay, we will definitely have to make sure there's a Sunday where you're free, and we will do that because I would.
Yeah.
love
Dark
I've
Crystal is one of my favorite movies of all time.
actually done a Dark Crystal comic book review.
And then one day,
I didn't know there was
the
a comic
crystal
book for
cracked.
Dark Crystal.
Yeah, there's a whole comic book
There's a
series
comic book for everything.
based on the movie.
It's like Rule 35. If it exists, there's a comic book for it.
And if the plot comes up in a movie or a TV show, they come up in a comic book first.
All I
Probably.
know is the first time I saw Dark Crystal with the Gilflings and like the animation and the puppets and like it was kind of Muppet kind of, but so clear and exact.
That movie scared the
The Skeksis.
Especially like that one where like they're sucking the
Skeksis.
thing's brain out of his
The
head.
Skeksis, the
Oh,
Skeksis that look like the
Skeksis.
vultures. The
Yeah.
Skeksis, they're like,
They like open the chamber and he looks at the crystal and like his eyes go all white. And,
oh, and that
That
woman that
freaked
pulled
me
her
out.
eyeball out with the spaces running
Yes.
around, and she's like, Olga, right? It's Olga, and she's like, "Who are you,
Something
you
like
Gilfling?"
Yeah, I have to admit
Okay.
the world
Okay.
really wasn't ready for that movie when it come out.
No, but I could tell you that is one of my favorite movies.
I
It's-
could talk about that for 2 hours easy. So,
Me
yeah,
too.
we should do that.
The amethyst, it has so many meanings, right? Everything in that movie, the Skeksis, the like, like everything has so much meaning in that movie. And the same thing with The Secret of Nim.
That
The
owl.
Secret of
Speaking
Yes.
of things that freaked me out.
Okay, all right.
yeah,
I actually like the
that
Secret of
that
Nim a
one
lot
that one
better.
messed me up, and it really
The Secret
messed
of
me up.
Nim.
Yeah, well, I didn't know what NIM
That it's
stood
real?
for.
Yes, that it's based on a real
like
story.
a year ago.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I saw
Behavioral sync.
the rat experiment, and I was like, "What is this?" And I forget.
It's dark.
I think
It is. Yeah.
I forget who it was that popped in my chat, and they were like, "Caldy, you know this is real?" And I was like, "No way, no way." They were like, "Yeah, that's what the Secret of NIM is about." And I was like,
National Institute of Mental Health.
"Oh my god!" And it was just, I remember like talking to my dad the next couple of days after that, and I was like, "You remember the Secret of NIM?" He's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Did you know that's a true story?" He was like, "What?"
It's
And,
based
like,
on one of the
I-
most messed up experiments.
Messed up
of all
experiments
time.
ever. Oh my god.
Crystal in.
Ugh.
Okay, so Doom says he's going to come up on a future panel to debate against Dark Crystal and Nim.
Debate
You
against.
come on up, Doom. You come on up. You
What?
let me know when, Doom.
Why would you do that?
How,
You let me know when. You let me know when. Another one that really moved me was The American Tale.
Oh yeah.
I like it was very sweet. It was very sweet.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
we
one
talked
was
about
sweet.
It was, but it moved me because he's like singing to the moon of my family's out there somewhere.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
Somewhere
somewhere
out there.
Mhm.
Blah, 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 blah.
All I remember is there's no cats in America and the streets are paved with cheese.
Doom, I am ooh,
It's in the movie, man.
yeah.
Thank God Bjork
funny.
didn't show up.
Hold on, Doom.
There are no cats in America and the streets are paved with cheese.
I never saw that. That sounds hilarious. Oh, how cute.
There was a sequel too. Five Goes West.
Five
Oh,
Goes West.
Yeah.
Yes. Didn't see it.
Oh, I
I don't
saw
think I
Five
did
Goes
either.
West. I did see Five Goes West.
I saw it too many times.
You saw it once.
Ken, you
No,
sound
I
so
saw it more
tired.
than once. I saw it quite a few times, unfortunately.
And speaking of West, not to divert the conversation, but did you guys hear there's a Young Guns 3 coming out?
Oh,
know.
God,
Yes,
no.
I did hear about that. Yeah.
I heard about it too, and I cried.
It seems beyond pointless to make a Young Guns 3.
Yeah. It's heavy. Like I saw the interview with Emilio, and it was heavy nostalgia that it was just nostalgia,
That was like his peak.
nostalgia.
I'm trying to.
And they had one question. They were like, "Is Bon Jovi coming back?" And he was like, "Well, I can't tell you, but yeah, of course." It's like, what am I, dumb? Of course he's coming back for it. We got to make money.
Wait a minute, in this one, Billy the Kid gets really, really old and tells his story to some guy in a desert, right?
Yeah, this is supposed to be the one where Billy the Kid is living in Texas or something like that, and shenanigans happen. I don't know what the real story is, but I don't know.
He fakes his death and changes his name to Brushy Bill, and then some reporter finds him in 1917 or something, and he winds up sitting on the porch telling a story, and the whole rest of the movie is going to be a bunch of old flashbacks and something.
I don't know. I know Lou Diamond Phillips is in it, and
what else is he doing?
Christian Slater. Those are the three people: Emilio Estevez, Christian Slater, and because everybody else died.
Yeah.
And those three men all don't have a career anymore, so they might as well.
Ooh.
That's
I mean,
ouch.
Christian Slater had like this TV gig for a long time that like paid well, but he hasn't done anything since then.
Yeah, and Emilio Estevez last was The Walk was his movie that he directed.
I think so. That sounds
he directed
familiar.
his dad, and that wasn't a bad movie. It was just not. I don't know. It was just a nice independent movie. It wasn't crazy good, crazy bad. It was just this is a nice movie.
But with those three actors, why is it called Young Guns? It should be called Old Guns.
Credit gun.
Retro guns.
I don't know. I'm
Vintage
it's,
guns.
It's never going to be as good as. Do you see the size of that chicken? They're on mushrooms.
They ought to call it shooting
He's my
blood.
butterfly.
It's peyote, yeah.
You
How
guys
about
see
this?
the size of
Young
that
Guns
chicken?
3, shooting blanks.
Oh my god, you guys are so hilarious.
It's funny because I learned about that right after I
the
had
after
watched.
party.
After I had watched Young Guns
I
2,
wish I
because
could stay up, but I think when we end this, I'm going straight to bed. Because
I think I'm already halfway to the bed.
Let me get that link for you guys. Go ahead, do what you're doing, Chrissy.
All right.
Up since 7 o'clock this morning.
So, okay, private chat.
I took a nap, but it didn't help.
Do you think time travel will ever be possible, or is it purely science fiction, Tracy? Because you're getting ready to go to bed.
Okay, I'm just gonna end it. Science fiction, because I know that you can't go back.
That's it. You think it's science fiction? Good night.
Yep. See ya.
No, I just everybody's, like we're Caldy.
he's busy setting.
Yes,
up
ma'am. What's up?
Science fiction or reality?
Science fiction becomes reality if the science catches up with the fiction.
Okay, I can see that.
Okay, yeah,
Mark's first
I agree
love.
with that. I agree with that. Yeah. I mean, Elon Musk is doing some crazy things. So, I mean,
Yeah, boy, is he ever.
crazy things. I would say that it's a possibility. I actually believe that it is something that is happening currently. I honestly believe that people are living all of their life at the same entire time in different realms.
Wow.
I get deja vus a lot.
Thank you, Chrissy. I'm glad somebody else on this panel has imagination.
I actually see a lot of deja vus. So I see myself in the future, and then when I actually hit that mark, I'm like, I've lived this before, and that is really weird to me.
That's what I call the Blackadder syndrome.
Blackadder.
I'm just saying, like, I have so many deja vus that it's weird. And sometimes I have deja vus inside of deja vus that I've dreamt it once or twice and 3 times. And now I'm doing it again. And I remember the other times that I've done it. So I can't
Because
explain
everything
that.
happens all at once, like I was telling you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I
Yeah.
honestly believe that. I believe that.
Well, I
Only
think anything
because-
is possible because we probably live in a simulation, but that's a subject for a whole other day.
Yeah.
We are not in the Matrix. If it was
What
the
did
Matrix,
he just
our
say?
life would be a
Hold
lot
on.
better.
Zach's going too fast. You might not like me as much as you hope, Triple B.
Aw.
Doom, I think I will like you just fine. You look like an executor. I'm ex-military. Welcome. We'll have you on panel. Don't worry. All of us seem to get along real well. And Wednesday, we're going live on a BBB Wednesday night. After Zach, we're going to go live and we're going to do BBB After Dark. Rome was there. Ricky was there. Doom was there. Chris was there. Jeremy was there. There was a bunch of people there. Jake Hudson was there. I cannot tell you guys how much fun it is. It's a whole different part of. Okay, you're an argumentative. Sure, perfect. That's okay. Come
Yeah,
to
these
BBB
people aren't
After-
argumentative at all.
We're not argumentative at all, Doom. But yeah, we're gonna start doing Wednesday nights an 18 plus show. BBB After Dark. Everyone's welcome. Moose Man was there. Rome was there. Like, I can't tell you guys how much fun it was. Like, I didn't want to go to bed. I had to force myself to like get off stream because it was 2:30, and I'm like, I'm not tired, but I know if I don't get off right now and go to bed, I'm not going to get up tomorrow. My alarm went off 4 hours later. Charles Darwin was there. Yeah, my alarm went off 4 hours later. I hated myself. Hated myself.
Well, I'm sorry to see.
No, it was the most fun I've ever had. Like, I had fun with you guys, but this was crazy. They were all pulling me outside the box. And I was like, no, I don't drop my link in chat. And they're like, step outside the box. And I'm like, I don't drop my chat and I don't drop my panel in the public chat. And they're like, basically told me get some cojones. If you guys
I love this comment.
What?
Doom says he's already there in the future.
That's right, Doom. That's right, Doom.
The future, Conan.
Doom, you're gonna have to I'm gonna have to get my Discord to you, but nobody has Doom's information.
Yeah, I didn't
How do
know
I get in touch
existed
with
until
Doom?
now.
Doom, if you contact me on Facebook or YouTube, drop me a message in one of my old videos. I'll send you my number and then we can delete it right after. How about that? Just go back to one of my old.
Oh God, it's called email. Move on.
Oh yeah, you can email me at brainbenderbanter@gmail.com.
Oh, Daddy.
Yeah. brainbenderbanter@gmail.com. Damn, Danny. I have to send you links all the time because you lose the links because it's been too long.
Oh, by the way, I had to search. That's why I was late getting here tonight because I had to search for an hour to find the right link.
You were late.
Yeah. Late for me because I had to search forever to find the right link because I got 10 links from you and I go to dead channels or dead streams.
So you need
Somebody
me to send
else's
you
stream.
another link? I'll send you another link. I should probably send you a link every 2 weeks so you don't have to scroll that far.
Well, it got confusing because you'd sent me links to other shows and other stuff, and
yeah.
Like, oh God, every time I click on it, was the wrong one.
Aw, well, I was late anyways. You know me, I'm going to be late. All right, everybody, we're headed over to Caldy's to the after show. Caldy, did you drop the link?
He did.
The drop is
I just want
linked.
to tell everybody good night and happy trails. I'm going
Yeah,
to bed.
back at you.
You'll find me. Thank you, Doom. Find me, please. Find me. Leave me a message.
You guys,
Doom will find you.
are you guys are you guys hanging out backstage for a little bit? Or are you guys coming right over there?
No, we're gonna just say goodnight and then we're headed over.
Yeah, come.
Right?
Yeah, and Zach, especially Zach. Not that I don't care about you other people too.
Yeah.
I have a finger that Zach will show you after we get off the main
Zach's going to
screen.
show us a lot of finger. Yeah.
Yeah, that finger. So Doom, please follow
awesome.
us over to Caldy's channel. It's Caldwell. Wait, hold on. Caldy, what is it?
DY.
Caldwell
It's already
DY.
linked.
Yeah, Caldwell.
Rome
DY.
already dropped the link.
Yeah, Rome dropped it.
Okay.
All right.
So we're all going over to Caldy's for the after show. Let's get unhinged.
See y'all.
All right.
Have a
See
good
y'all there.
night.
Peace,
Have a good one.
everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. I pooped in your shoes. I have.
Pooped in your shoe.
This is my pug, by the way. I've pooped in your shoes. I have.
Love that.
I'll send you the meme. It's hilarious. All right, where's it at? Where? Why can't I find it? And peace.
She major another play, twisting minds.
Happy trails.
Brand new
Be sure to like,
way.
subscribe,
Good night,
ring
everyone.
the ticket bell.
And
Thank you, Danny.
trivia too. BBB, it's all for you. Keep on thinking, keep on guessing.